De Miguel Martín, convocado el lateral derecho. Saludos de Luis García Plaza, que vuelve a la que fue su casa durante un par de jornadas. Hay que decirlo así, lo comentaba en rueda de prensa, ¿no? Que al final también todas las experiencias y todos esos momentos pues se los lleva y se lleva también a muchas personas. Y nada, pues hoy tenemos una retransmisión de lujo con protagonistas de muchísima calidad y sobre todo para analizar y esperar que el conjunto de Bermellón, el conjunto de Luis García Plaza consiga esos
Obviously, we are hoping for a victory and a 3-point takeaway today, of course.
Por la permanencia. Y nada, hoy vamos a tener con nosotros durante la retransmisión y durante esta previa para analizar todo lo que tenemos por delante.
During this pre-match coverage, we're going to have with us today a ex-Mallorca player. It's Manolo Moya, who we already spoke to in the first round of La Liga. So you're becoming a regular with us. Yes, I was here commentating on the Granada match, which was not one of the best matches, of course, but hopefully it's going to be a different story. Yes, hopefully it will. It will definitely be a complicated story. However, there are some injuries and some players that are off for Villarreal team today. And hopefully it's an opportunity to get those 3 points. Yes, I mean, Mallorca have proved themselves capable of giving some surprises. They beat Atletico Madrid in their own pitch. Villarreal, luckily, is a team that plays good football, and allows the other teams to play good football too. So let's see if we can start getting those points 3 by 3. Yes, another important match this weekend is Levante versus Cádiz, and at the moment Cádiz is in the lead. Of course, a very important match there, seeing as they are last but one on the league table at the moment. Yes, of course, we've got to watch out for the rivals that are behind us in the league table, but it's important for Mallorca to do a good match today and to continue the journey out of this kind of bad last couple of matches that we've been having.
Da la sorpresa al Villarreal, que bueno, ellos pensarán que el Mallorca pues es un equipo que hace las cosas bien, pues ya lo dijo en la previa a su entrenador del Villarreal.
I think Villarreal is aware that Mallorca are a team that play good football. The coach already said that in his press conference. But today we need to bring out all the best players that we have and hope we can cause some damage. Yes, so I think we'll go and talk to our next guest, who are actually going to go live to a restaurant to talk with. We're going to go and talk to Miguel Ángel Moya this time. Yeah, it's definitely a Moya theme today. So talking in this pre-match coverage now, Mallorca Villarreal. They're always great matches, right? Well, right now, I don't think there's any La Liga matches that aren't great matches. But I think obviously Villarreal is an important rival because of the competitions they play and because of the Champions League. And Mallorca's also got some really good feelings right now thanks to the victories in the King's Cup. It's going to be a hard match for Mallorca, but I think equally hard for Villarreal. And of course, I watched the league matches every single weekend, and it is a really tough thing to break away from the place where you are on the league board.
No, para nada absoluto. Aquí cada uno ocupa su espacio. No te preocupes por mí, no te preocupes.
Yes, so we know that you've been doing some football commentating lately, so we were shaking in our boots thinking that you were going to substitute us. So speaking about the amount of goalkeepers that are available right now for Mallorca. So what do you think of the goalkeeper Sergio Rico? Well, it's not a discovery because he is a very established player that we've signed, but he's had a very successful career. He's risen to a really great level of playing. His journey through the Premier League was slightly more ephemeral, of course. We know that. Ephemeral.
Por la calidad del portero, por cómo se ha producido el fichaje, que es una cesión pues, hasta final de temporada, y ya veremos si posible fichaje de traspaso para la siguiente. Pero creo que además.
So we'll see, obviously, if he becomes the permanent signing for looking towards next season.
Controvertidos o conflictivos, pero en el caso de Sergio Rico es un tío que va a sumar, me consta. Buena persona.
No, it's not one of those controversial, kind of risky signings. So I think there's only positive things that Sergio Rico can bring to the team, of course. It's just a win-win situation. Yeah, he really is a high-quality goalkeeper that has a lot of experience. So you've seen him there with Leo Roman, who's been given some big opportunities recently, such as playing in the King's Cup matches, which will also bring some more competition and rivalry between among the goalkeepers. Well, you know, looking from the outside, it looks like it could be bad news for Leo Roman.
Del fútbol de élite, pero para Leo Román ahora será acompañado en el día a día con un portero de la experiencia y la trayectoria de.
But now for Leo Roman, he's got to think as well that it's going to be great for him to be able to be training and continue learning alongside a goalkeeper with that amount of experience and performance. Leo Roman knows that it's not an easy journey, and this is one of the challenges that he now has in his path. But I really like the guy. I think he's an exciting addition to the team. Yes, but it's nice for us as well to know that Mallorca's goal at the moment is very well protected. So what about you, Miguel Angel? Have you hung your football boots up?
Bueno, yo no sé si están colgadas, pero colocadas para colgarse sí que están. O sea que.
Well, I don't know if they're officially hung up, but they're definitely cleaned and placed away, ready to be hung up.
Digamos, he descartado alguna que otra oferta porque yo creo que ya donde estoy y como estoy estoy bien y es donde quiero estar.
I think, you know, I'm doing very well and I'm fine, but I have rejected certain offers to be in certain teams. And I've got lots of commitments right now, such as family and with my studies as well, that I don't know whether I'd be able to juggle everything. I'm in Madrid too, as you know, as well right now. So I'm definitely quite far away from being back in elite football.
Equipos como Mallorca, lo decíamos, Valencia, Getafe, Atlético de Madrid, esa Copa del Rey con la Real Sociedad, hombre.
Yes, so just going through your amazing footballing journey here.
Ahí donde estás, que la verdad que te he escuchado muchísimas veces y disfruto mucho aprendiendo de tus comentarios, la verdad que.
But I always watch your interviews and I really enjoy listening to you because of the pride and the happiness that you express when you talk about your footballing career. Yeah, I think it's, you know, when you start out in football, you have no idea where your journey is going to take you. And I do feel proud. So to be able to stick out, you know, around 20 years in professional football, when there's people up and coming all the time, people hot on your heels, people that are chasing your positions, then now is my time to make the most of the more free time that I have and do everything that I wasn't able to do throughout my professional sporting career. Well, Miguel Angel, we're going to let you get on with your lunch now so that you're fed and watered by the time the match starts at 4:15. Well, big hugs to everybody and thank you very much for speaking to me today.
De Miguel Ángel Nadal, de Miguel Ángel Moya, madre mía, cómo cómo pasa esto aquí. Esto, te digo, también es la hora de la digestión en mi caso.
Yes, just a bit of a mistake there with his name, but no problems. It is lunchtime after all. So back to Manolo there. What a time of day to be commentating, right? With the hunger or post-lunch, that kind of tired feeling. But yeah, listening to Miguel Ángel Moya there, talking about Sergio Rico and Leo Roman's budding relationship.
Sí, yo jugaba en Villafranca y él jugaba en el Mallorca cuando estaba empezando, o sea, fíjate, jugamos.
Yes, actually, what Miguel Ángel Moya doesn't know is that we played against each other. I was playing in Villafranca and he was playing in Mallorca when he was just starting out. And yes, we drew 0-0 actually that day. He definitely wouldn't remember because he was very, very young. Well, maybe he does remember. But yeah, one of those strange life coincidences, but it's over 20 years ago now. And yes, as he was saying, it's great to have these options of powerful and strong goalkeepers. And it's also a great chance for Leo Roman to be able to learn and grow from such great figures. Yes, so great not only for Leo Roman but also for Ketglas to be able to have as their role models they train with every day. Manolo Reina with his experience as well. It's incredible for them. Yeah, well, Leo Roman's father was a goalkeeper too, and obviously that's going to be a massive influence for him as well. So of course, I'm sure his father gives him lots of advice as well. And then with if you add Manolo Reina and Sergio Rico, it's great for him. And also Leo Roman, he already looks like a very calm and collected guy. It seems that pressure never gets the better of him. And I think that Mallorca will feel they will trust him now, and they're gaining in confidence with him, and they feel quite protected. Of course, we know Sergio Rico is coming from PSG, and he will want to play. He'll want to be on the pitch. He'll want to save some goals. Yeah, it's definitely important that we don't let any balls get past us in this leg of the league.
Donde los hay, pero ya te digo yo que Luis García Plaza le va a decir, oye Sergio, te tendrás que poner las pilas porque aquí Leo Román.
Yeah, even though he is a goalkeeper of that caliber, I'm pretty sure that Luis García Plaza will tell him that he needs to work first and to show the rest of the boys in the team what he's worth before he gets a fixed position as a goalkeeper on the pitch.
Y seguro pues van a sumar y van a ayudar mucho para el camino del objetivo. Nada, queda ya una horita.
But having these goalkeepers will definitely help us reach our end goal. And yes, we're now an hour and 2 minutes away from the kickoff time. And we're going to go through and hear from Pedro Rostoy, Mallorca's second coach. So Pedro, how are you today? What do you think about the match today? Well, the team looks good. We've had a really good training week. We've got morale is high after the previous match. So we just want to repeat those feelings and hopefully gain in confidence. So, trying to get a positive result in a very difficult pitch up against a very tough rival. What's the key points of this match? Well, we know they're a great team. They're also playing very well at home. So we need to try and avoid their internal play. We need to be very aggressive right from the off, fill up those little gaps on the pitch. And if we're able to keep control of the ball, then I think they can. They'll suffer a bit. So people have been saying in the press conferences that it's not easy for you guys to win at the moment, and that defeats are very expensive right now. Yeah, I mean, we want to face up to any kind of rivals and always be equally competitive. So anytime you start a match, there's always an option to win or at least a draw. So that's what we're going to try and do. So talking about the signing of Sergio Rico. Yes, all the documents have arrived from Paris. So yes, so he is ready and eager and unavailable, and we'll be obviously happy to use him whenever we need him. So Pedro Rostoy's words there as an hour away from kickoff. Well, it looks like a nice day there in Castellón. Perfect conditions in the stadium. Lots of refurbishment and lots of stadiums recently too, so it'll be an absolute luxury to witness some of those stadiums later on in life. Yes, so as Pedro was just saying then, the Villarreal coach clearly respects Mallorca team. And as Pedro said, if we really hold them off in the first quarter of an hour, if we keep hold of possession, and we will definitely do some damage. You know, Villarreal is a Champions League team. But we could definitely surprise them. And it's all about keeping hold of long possessions. You know, they're a team that tries to play up the top all the time. They don't speculate about results. And I think if we keep possession, we go out aggressively, we're a very difficult team to beat too. So I hope Villarreal are not too complacent either, because we might just well surprise them.
Es difícil, pero bueno, veremos hoy qué pasa, pero el Mallorca tiene que ir a por los 3 puntos, a por la victoria, y si va ahí.
However, Mallorca just needs to try and get those 3 points today and get a victory, and there are many possibilities of them to get it, and that's the most important thing. Yes, so we will be discussing the lineup very soon. So I think your praise have been listened to, Manolo. We'll be discussing that very shortly, but I think we can go and speak to Danny, who is in the stadium in Castellón. So good afternoon. I've been listening to the interviews for the last while since you've been live. But yes, we should be still scared about Miguel Ángel Moya because he's a great football commentator anyway. So I was obviously watching the Mallorca players a short while ago too. So lots of players back now, and also a lot of them coming to places that are very near their hometowns. One of the biggest ones, of course, being Ferniño, who is back in his home area. So there were lots of embraces and lots of friendly gestures towards the Villarreal players, as he was obviously an ex-Villarreal player himself. So yes, he was only there for 6 matches. But he always says that he was happy to at least clinch some victories while he was there in the Villarreal team. And of course, Take Kubo is back too. He was in Villarreal for half a season before he came back home to Mallorca, where he always insists this is where he feels best and most himself. But of course, we are internally grateful to have him because his presence really does speak volumes on the pitch. Yes, as you were saying, it's a very nice day here. One of those stadiums that has been vastly improved by some refurbishments in recent years too. So it's definitely going to be a complicated rival today.
Bueno, que en Liga no está teniendo tampoco quizá el año que se esperaba, pero que bueno, que está a las puertas de Europa, que está ahí, que es un equipo súper peligroso, que tiene algunas bajas, pero que por supuesto que lo va a poner muy complicado. Así que bueno, pues desear, ¿no?, que el equipo sume una victoria importante. He viajado con nuestro cámara.
So obviously we are hoping for a victory today. We traveled with the club members and the most die-hard fans that have been come here today to visit, also with the cameraman. So everybody is extremely excited and feeling confident about the match ahead. And obviously we all hope for a positive result. So less than an hour now until kickoff time. Obviously all the footballs and the cones are already on the pitch for the players that come on to begin their warm-up.
Bueno, pues la verdad es que ganas de que empiece a rodar el balón siempre que tenemos esa conexión.
So obviously excitement to see the ball start rolling.
A cantar goles queda poquito y si os parece, pues Dani y Manolo nos vamos a ir al césped. Vamos a ir con Luis Seoane.
So Dani and Manolo, we're going back to our colleague Luis, who is pitch side, and we're going to go through the Luis Garcia Plaza's final lineup.
Me ha puesto ahí un poco el freno de mano, pero nada, vemos a Luis Seoane con la hojita bien preparada, con todo a punto para cantarnos en.
Yes, we can see Luis there with the lineup ready and waiting. Yes, there was a bit of umming and ahhing then. We weren't sure where we were going, but yes, here we are. In La Cerámica Stadium in Castellón. Fabulous stadium, as you can see. Slightly overcast now and a wind has slightly picked up, but let's see our lineup for today. We've got Leo Roman in goal today. We've got Maffeo on the right wing, Jaume Costa on the left wing, with Valgin and Franco Russo defending in the centre. Midfielders, Galarreta, Battaglia on the right, and Dani Rodriguez, as well as Ahmad. And we've got Takefusa Kubo and Abdon Prats up top. Villarreal is going through the Villarreal lineup.
Y arriba Moy Gómez y Jeremy. Ese es el 11 que presentará hoy el Villarreal para intentar sumar esos 3 puntos, aunque también lo intentará el equipo de Luis García Plaza, que llega, como comentaba Pedro Rostoy, con muy buenas sensaciones.
Of course, both teams extremely eager about and going to try and get those 3 points today. So Luis Garcia has brought 24 players to Castellón today.
Que ya hizo su debut en Copa y también en Liga, y el que sí entra en la convocatoria es Miguelito, lateral derecho.
So we do have with us today Miguelito, a winger, right winger, who will be on the bench. Javi Ebris is absent from the bench today. So we can expect the players to start warming up at around 3:45. So very, very slowly but surely people are starting to enter the stadium.
Bueno, pues más detalles, o sea, nos ha dado todos los detalles, hasta la hora que van a salir a calentar, hasta la hora que
So a very detailed explanation from Luis there. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Vaya 11, tú lo has dicho, 2 puntas, seguramente Ahmad está ahí con Abdón, también puede estar ahí Takefusa Kubo, ¿no? También en ese haciendo de segunda punta, veremos un poquito cómo van las cosas, pero es un 11.
So interesting lineup there today. Combination of Abdon and Take, of course. Yes, a very offensive final 11.
Igual es un 4-4-2 como puede ser un 4-2-3-1. Y bueno, si Take
It's a
juega
4-4-2, but it could have easily been a 4-3-2-1.
Tendrá espacios. Lo importante es que Adon Pras fije sobre todo a los dos centrales del Villarreal. Y después si
It's important that Abdon
banda izquierda, pues,
focuses on the two midfielders for Villarreal.
En banda derecha, pues Dani Rodríguez, tenemos un 11 ofensivo y sobre todo tenemos
and having Dani Rodriguez midfield on the right-hand side, which just means that we've got a very offensive, aggressive, and with great potential today, the lineup.
El segundo entrenador del Mallorca y a esperar que, bueno, va a llevar la batuta el Villarreal y a la contra yo creo que les podemos hacer bastante daño.
No, y también miras
So I think we can definitely do some damage on the counter-attack against Villarreal.
Los ojos bien abiertos, ¿no? Jugadores como que la semana pasada, bueno, que hace poco, hace 2 jornadas de liga empataron ahí justo en la cerámica contra el Atleti. Están los goleadores, Pau Torres, Alberto Moreno, tienen jugadores como Parejo, como Iborra.
So yes, Villarreal have brought out goal scorers such as Torres and Moreno, who actually scored against Atletico Madrid recently, and they're players that are in the Spanish selection team. You know, it's we can't forget how far we've come.
Con el 11 que ha sacado Luis García Plaza para competir tiene de sobra y veremos lo que has dicho.
So there's definitely enough aggressive power today from Luis García Plaza to be able to compete against players of this caliber, of course, and we can hope for some really good football. Yes, Villarreal has a really good lineup, we know that.
Bueno, no están en la Copa del Rey porque perdieron hace poco con el Sporting, pero en Liga están.
I mean, they're not in the King's Cup anymore because they lost against Sporting, but they've definitely come up leaps and bounds recently.
Yo creo que entre los 6 primeros tranquilamente.
And I think they're going to be in the top 6 easily, but we can definitely beat them. I was going to say easily, but no, I take that back because at the end of the day we are in La Liga and we're away from home and every single match is extremely difficult. But we can't give up hope and we've got to remain confident. However, we need to take advantage of any opportunity that comes our way to score. Because we are having those opportunities, but we're not having the luck when we have those opportunities.
Empatado 2 no hubiera pasado nada y el otro día contra el Levante pues el resultado hubiera sido más justo un empate, pero al final se perdió por circunstancias que tiene el fútbol, pero el Mallorca, como ya he dicho antes, el Mallorca sale a disputar todos los partidos y el Villarreal pues.
However, as I said before, Mallorca does come out with all guns blazing and they face up to their rivals every time.
Pero el Mallorca le va a poner, para si quiere ganar el Mallorca, va a tener que sudar mucho el Villarreal.
Mira, ya tenemos imágenes de los porteros.
But yes, they're going to have to make Villarreal definitely work up a sweat. Well, yes, we've actually got some live images of Sergio Rico now. First time for him in a Mallorca shirt.
Y nada, vamos a hacer conexión ahora, si te parece, Manolo, otra vez con el Estadio de la Cerámica para que Dani nos cuente un poquito cómo ha sido el viaje de esta mañana que creo que ha compartido.
So we're going to go back to the stadium now to talk to Danny, who, yes, managed made the journey over with the fans and the team. So I guess you wanted to join in with their chanting.
Hay que insistirles mucho, ¿no? Porque ya sabéis que la afición del Mallorca pues siempre se entrega y han venido con mucha ilusión, con ganas. Efectivamente, ¿no? Pues hemos salido esta mañana alrededor.
So yes, they were definitely very eager and excited.
Los patrocinadores del club que siempre nos acompaña también en nuestros desplazamientos. Hemos venido, pues eso ya digo, una veintena de aficionados. Se van a añadir algunos.
So yes, there was around 20 fans that made their way over to Castellón this morning.
Aficionados del Real Mallorca, a ver dónde los ubican aquí en el estadio de la Cerámica. Y ya veis, ¿no? Pues con bufandas, con gorras, con cánticos, con camisetas. Bueno, pues como no puede ser de otra manera, bien uniformados, bien preparados.
Of course, extremely eager with their usual chanting and singing. So we've made the journey over to Valencia. Then there was a little bit of a drive down to Villarreal and around 70 kilometers. Of course, we did stop for lunch on the way.
Dani.
Has visto, sí, no, porque claro,
Oh,
imagínate.
good. You've all definitely got to look after yourselves.
Nos toca siempre la hora del tupper, ¿eh?
Sí, sí.
Yes, it is quite unfortunate. We always seem to get matches in the weekend right at lunchtime.
Yo cuando voy a comer. Pero no, esta gente nos ha cuidado muy bien. Nos ha dicho, vamos a hacer una parada técnica para comer, pero que...
But yes, they definitely looked after us. We did a tactical pit stop to get something to eat. And you can see there the support they were showing already inside the bus. So obviously they are expecting a important match today. Of course, they're eager for a win.
Porque nosotros volvemos con el equipo por Castellón, ellos lo van a hacer a través de Valencia, pues con ganas de volver, ¿no? Con una victoria, ¿no? No sé si quieres escuchar ya los.
And of course, they really want to return home today with a victory under their belt.
Sobre todo también con los organizadores de este viaje, que ha sido el movimiento mallorquinista, a quien agradecemos también.
So big thanks as well to the Mallorcan movement, Movimiento Mallorquinista, who was in charge of organizing the trip over to Valencia, because we know that there are some very complicated times and complicated months to be able to travel. So we really do appreciate the fact that the fans still show their support and take the time and effort to make the journey over. So the Mallorca movement is back on track. So how are you feeling today? Well, the trip's going very well. Hopefully we can take the 3 points back with us. At least 1 point. But we hope for a victory. So it's good environment, right? Just eagerness and excitement. Yeah, it's a complicated travel situation right now. But we're just doing all the protocol right, we're behaving, and we're just really excited to be back watching matches. I think it's going to be a complicated match today, especially playing away. But I hope for a win. I will always hope for a win. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, tough rival today. It's going to be tough. But then Mallorca always does these unexpected things, so, you know, we may just manage to get it. I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling excited, so I'm ready for a surprise. I think we can manage to get some points today. You know, any points we can get are going to be good points for us. And for well, the trip's been fine. It's just a short trip. And obviously, the journey back will always depend on whether we win, draw, or lose. Well, today's going to be a difficult match. It's an important rival. But you know, we beat Atletico Madrid and we can win again. Yeah, the 3 points are 3 points. Doesn't matter the rival. You know, they're all equally valid teams. I think we can win today. But I think we'll avoid being relegated this year for sure. So tough rival today, but Mallorca has proved time and time again they can do it. Yeah, many years have passed now that Mallorca keeps showing that if they want to do it, then they can do it. They can definitely win. What are the key factors today? I think Kubo is going to be a key factor. But Salva Sevilla's got star quality, and all of them have things that could make the difference in a match. So, do you think we're going to save ourselves this year? Yeah, I think with the coach and the lineup, maybe we need to polish certain things. But I think we'll do it. So new goalkeeper in Sergio Rico. Yeah, he's always been a very good goalkeeper. And we hope that he can just add some quality to the team. Yes, so excited and motivated group of people there. Just to let you know, Cádiz has scored the second goal in their victory against Levante.
Con un partido menos por el partido aplazado contra la Real, 2 puntos por encima de las posiciones de descenso, pero bueno, esto yo imagino que también motiva, ¿no?, a los jugadores para la hora de salir y hoy pues darlo todo.
However, not so good.
Estamos viendo también el partido aquí en directo.
Not so good for Mallorca, but this is also a motivating factor for the players as well.
Ojo que si el Levante mete un gol, pues bueno, lo importante, este resultado, lo mejor para el Mallorca sería que empatasen, pero bueno, no hay que mirar tampoco los que van detrás, hay que mirar al Mallorca.
So I guess rather than focus on the people behind us, we've got to focus on the goal and focus on moving forward instead. We can get out of the danger zone that we've been in, and we've just got to keep going forward, onwards and upwards. And any points we can get are welcome, and if they can be 3 by 3, then that's even better for us.
Felicidad y alegría y sobre todo también motivación para afrontar este partido en la cerámica, de la que seguro sacaremos puntos. Menos de 45 minutos para que empiece a rodar la pelota.
So yes, that less than 45 minutes left now.
Un poquito de agua y enseguida volvemos para seguir contando y trayendo todas las últimas.
So we're going to go to our first short break, and we'll be back with you very shortly. Yes, I was just going to say there was a guy behind me having his lunch clearly, but I was very jealous, so I'm going to make the most of it now during this ad break.
Llenamos de contenidos tu vuelo y tú decides disfrutarlos o soñarlos en asientos cama. Te damos acceso directo al pasillo y tú decides máxima privacidad y confort. Llevamos más alto nuestra clase business y tú decides volar con nosotros. O no. Pero un consejo. Decide llegar tan lejos como quieras en la nueva clase business. Air Europa. Tú decides.
Grupo Escribano. Somos especialistas en reformas y fachadas. Financia ahora el 100% y paga en 12 meses sin intereses. Para importes desde 200 euros hasta 200.000 euros. 0% TAE. Grupo Escribano.
Pues volvemos a estar aquí a falta de ya 35 minutos para que empiece el partido aquí en la Cerámica.
So just 35 minutes left now until kickoff. You can see the players, live images here of them warming up.
Dani, ¿cómo ha salido el equipo con esta camiseta pre-match que siempre hablamos que es preciosa? Pero bueno,
so we can see the players there in that pre-match shirt that we always talk about, that is very successful, very attractive.
Pues sí, además estaba yo antes hablando de reencuentros, bueno, me olvidaba efectivamente Jaume Acosta, que segura es sin duda el jugador que va a vivir un partido más especial, pero bueno, yo no sé si tenemos a nuestro compañero Luis Sebane ya.
So of course we know that the team is extremely important for Jaume Acosta. He played in Villarreal for a whopping 10 seasons. But yes, Luis, how are you experiencing this warm-up?
No sé si lo tenemos por ahí.
Bueno, pues os lo cuento yo, pues el equipo, bueno, pues ha salido socodido con tranquilidad en el momento en el que se ha ido un poquito el sol aquí en el estadio de la
Well, we clearly can't get through to Luis right now. But yes, not bad weather for the match today. It is starting to cloud over and the wind is picking up.
Ese inicio ya de calentamiento que veis aquí, los jugadores del Real Mallorca de ese 11, ¿no? Que os hemos ido contando, con Leo Román bajo palos, ¿no? Con Costa, Russo, Valgent y Pablo Maceo en defensa.
So yes, just going through that lineup once again.
Pero importante también esa decisión, ¿no? De dejar finalmente fuera de la convocatoria a Javi Llabrés, evidentemente no porque el chaval no lo esté.
So yes, decision now to leave Javi Llabrés out today. Obviously not because he's not impressing with his performances recently, but of course rather by necessity, and which figures are needed on the pitch today.
En esa demarcación y por eso, ¿no? Esa decisión de dejar a Javi fuera de esta convocatoria con Bataglia, ¿no? En ese centro del campo que pues la verdad es que está supliendo, ¿no? A la perfección a Baba, que recordemos ha vuelto, ¿no?
So obviously we have Bataglia once again in midfield, substituting Baba's regular position. We know, of course, that Baba and his team was recently eliminated from the African Cup, so he will be back with the team next week. He'll have time to recover as there's no league match as well, which is good news for him and for us. However, of course, it's going to be a very key couple of weeks to make sure that all the players can be rested and ready to try and give it their all on the pitch and try and move away from the bottom of the league table.
Ese encuentro futbolístico que tuvo con Miguel Ángel Moya en el torneo del Melón de Villafranca. Bueno, melones los que le enviaron.
So we had Manolo Moya speaking earlier about the footballing encounter and reunion that he had with Miguel Ángel Moya. So it was I guess that was a tough match.
Bueno, he tenido la suerte de jugar en muchos clubes, sobre todo en tercera, y bueno.
Well, I've been very lucky to play in many teams, especially in third division. And I've been lucky enough to be a goal scorer. Yes, you've scored a lot of goals. Even when we think about your journey in Mallorca team in the mid-90s. So obviously I started out in journalism in 2002, started right from the bottom, and I was following lots of third division matches. And it was just, you know, it was kind of like the deal of the day. It was the regular thing for Manolo Moya to score. I think I was maximum goal scorer in third division 3 times. In Mallorca, in the youth team, and I think in Villafranca team as well. Because we were, league champion, third division champions from a village of 1,000 inhabitants. So I think that was definitely something that made us feel really proud.
Que por aquel entonces estaba de gerente Mateo Alemán en el club, pues de 20 partidos que jugué en tercera división llevaba 20 goles. Y cuando volví la segunda vuelta, pues todavía estaba en la tabla.
And after that year, after 20 matches played, I was on 20 goals scored. So, and I think I ended up on the season with 24 goals. So that was it was one of my best seasons.
Bueno, Pichichi no estaba en la tabla de goleadores con 20 goles porque esa temporada. Y bueno, sí, bueno, en tercera, después cuando volví jovencito aquí, pues sí, jugué en varios equipos en tercera división y la verdad que bueno.
Yes, and then when I returned back to the island, I played in several third division teams, but I was very lucky and proud of the results that I achieved there.
Con el Villafranca, jugaron una Copa del Rey, la jugamos contra el Lorca, me parece, nos eliminaron a doble partido.
Bueno, escúchame, hago un inciso con lo que estás diciendo. El Lorca de Unai Emery.
Yes, and we played in the King's Cup against Unai Emery's Lorca team. Yes, I think it was because he was an ex-Lorca player. Yes, because I remember Unai Emery's Lorca team going up against a team from Mallorca, and I've just remembered that it was Villafranca in the third division.
Pues se enfrentó a la Copa del Rey con yo creo que el Villafranca también, pero bueno. Y aquí está Unai Emery, ¿no? En el banquillo hoy del Villarreal, vaya trayectoria también que ha llevado el
So yeah, what a journey he has, because now he's here as a coach of Villarreal.
Claro, yo cuando fui cedido por el Mallorca me encontré a Luis García Plaza y a José Luis Oltra, que también han sido entrenadores del Mallorca. O sea,
todo queda en familia,
sí.
Yes, I mean, you know, the world is a funny place. It's a small world, and whenever you are on a different club, you suddenly reunite when you least expect it with coaches and different players.
Y lo más importante de un delantero creo yo que la meta de meter goles, porque al fin y al cabo los delanteros son los que te dan los puntos y si tienes un buen portero que te las pare, pues al fin y al cabo pues es lo más importante. Pero
and yeah, of course, I mean, I loved my role in the team because at the end of the day, my role was to score the goals and get the points for the team, and that's always a really special thing to be able to achieve. When I was in third division, I used to play with a lot of enthusiasm and very excitedly, but first division is a whole nother ball game when you think about the pressure that the players are under.
Un poco a ver dónde ubicaban a la afición del Mallorca, pero Luis, la gente, claro, está partida porque habrá venido gente por su cuenta, gente con entradas que habrán pedido.
So I was just going to say, Luis, I wonder where the fans that I travelled with this morning are placed in the stadium, but of course they are going to be slightly separated because people have different tickets. There are other people coming in that didn't travel with us today. Yes, supposedly the visiting guests stands are to the left on the camera angle, but they will definitely be dotted around the stadium today.
Escuchando atentamente comentabas, ¿no? De la que la semana que viene que no hay liga, pues es una buena semana para ir recuperando gente. Hablabas de.
However, yes, as you were saying before, the next week, because there's no league match, will be the perfect week to start to recover some players such as Brian Olivan and Raillo as well.
Pero sí que es verdad que Raillo está trabajando ya a un buen nivel y no le quedará mucho para reincorporarse al grupo.
Because even though we're not medical professionals, we have got wind that Raillo is recovering slowly but surely, and he feels in training sessions.
hace Luis, ¿no? Efectivamente, hablamos mucho, bueno, se habla mucho, ¿no? Nosotros hablamos poco, pero sí que los medios de comunicación, la gente habla mucho, ¿no? De este mercado de fichajes, como cada año.
So yes, a lot of talk about the signing market.
Gran fichaje, ¿no? Del Mallorca, un capitán, jugador importantísimo en el vestuario. El regreso de Antonio puede ser ese plus también.
So that the return of Antonio Raillo for the team might be one of the best things of the whole season.
Sí, la verdad que bueno, Antonio Raillo no lo vamos a descubrir ahora, va a ser un gran fichaje sobre todo para la segunda vuelta.
Yes, I mean, he's going to be a great addition for the second leg of La Liga. He's not a discovery now, he's a totally established player performance-wise. He's just going to come out there and try and help the team as much as he can. He'll try and leave this really long-lived injury that he's had behind him.
Y que bueno, siempre la posición de central es buena tenerla siempre bien cubierta porque quieras que no, los centrales son los que...
And obviously it's really important to always have the midfield positions covered on the pitch. So obviously now we need to touch wood that we don't have any other big injuries in the rest of the season. And we really need Raillo back with us, and it'll be really exciting to have him back. I'm sure he's going to be crazy to get out there and play again. And obviously, as soon as he can be back with us, the better.
Seguramente que tendrá el ritmo de entrenamientos, pero después el ritmo de competición es diferente y García Plaza cuando pueda estar disponible para él seguramente que lo pondrá porque los números están ahí. Con Antonio Raillo, pues el Mallorca atrás pues se notan bastante. No significa que tanto Russo como Valiant lo están haciendo mal, pero siempre es una posición.
And of course, even though Russo and Valjean aren't underperforming or anything like that, it definitely does mean that Raillo, the addition of Raillo in midfield could really do us some good.
Gerard Moreno, esa temporada que estuvo aquí con nosotros, la 13-14 que marcó 11 goles, un Gerard Moreno que se perdió el partido de...
So looking at some images of Villarreal player Gerard Moreno, who played with us in 2013-14 season, he was also a big goal scorer for us and also for Villarreal. He's been a maximum goal scorer a couple of times too.
Bueno, es una notición para nosotros. Gerard Moreno a día de hoy, pues bueno, es que la racha que está teniendo el Villarreal con Gerard Moreno, los números están ahí.
And apparently he is not up to scratch fitness-wise today. He's not on form, which obviously is great news for us considering his track record and his statistics. So to know that he's not going to be on the pitch today is good because he really does force the rest of his teammates to play. He's a very dangerous player. So it's great for us to know that he's not going to be playing today.
Un Villarreal, Esteban, que llega mermadísimo a este partido, ¿no? Comentaba ahora Manolo la baja de Gerard Moreno, pero es que si miramos la convocatoria de Unai Emery, Unai solo cuenta con 8 jugadores de campo en su banquillo hoy, ¿eh?
So it is an interesting situation, interesting lineup with Villarreal because we know that Unai Emery only has 8 players on the bench today. Because obviously they're also a team that is strongly affected by injuries right now. And it seems there's been a bump on the pitch right now. We're seeing live images and I'm seeing some blood. It looks like Battaglia. Battaglia and Kubo seem to have had a collision. So that is really obviously a very high intensity warm-up for the boys there. They were clearly doing the same warm-up as well with possession-wise. Take looks like he's recovering well there. Battaglia seems to have come off worse.
Adolfo, pero sí que le he visto yo un poco de sangre, se habrá hecho una pequeña brecha. Que esperemos que no le impida.
Seems like he's got a small cut on his head there. Hopefully they can staple that for him and he'll be okay.
Tratado intentar parar esa hemorragia, taparle y que pueda jugar desde el inicio el mediocentro argentino cuando continúa el equipo calentando. Y bueno, ahora os contaré, a ver, supongo que Battaglia no tendrá problema en volver. Pasa ahora por boxes y estará de vuelta.
So we hope that Battaglia will be fine for the rest of the match. He'll be treated now.
Decía Luis, las bajas de Unai Emery, ahora las tengo aquí, los lesionados Foyth, Coquelin, Rubén Peña, Paco Alcácer, Danjuma.
Yes, so Coquelin, Peña, Moreno,
sancionado Capu.
Kubo, and also 4 players that are in the African Cup. All those players which are not fit today for Villarreal. So that's a really important lineup there of people who will not be playing today with Villarreal team. So just looking at that lineup there of people, the people that are off today, already that is a Champions League lineup. Yes, however, they should slow down with their complaints because Luis Garcia Plaza has also had many players off injured or otherwise throughout this season, and he hasn't complained once. You know, if they've got players off injured, then they've got players off injured, and that's that.
Se tiene una plantilla amplia, pero bueno, te puede pasar. Esto ellos lo saben, los entrenadores, y bueno, el Mallorca va a jugar contra el Villarreal va a poner su mejor 11, igual que el Mallorca va a poner su mejor 11. Pero si nosotros podíamos llorar,
so obviously both teams are going to put out their best starting lineup.
Desgraciadamente vamos a seguir teniendo bajas por el tema del COVID, que cada semana desgraciadamente van cayendo jugadores que no podemos decir quiénes son para no dar.
Of course, you know, if you add COVID to the mix, it's a totally unexpected factor where you don't know which players are going to come off sick for the next week. But we've done what we can with the players that we have, and I think it's a really good, confident lineup, so we hope that we can take advantage of that. So 16 minutes away from kickoff now. There were some live images there of Abdon, who, as we know, scored the other day in the King's Cup match. So what a moment of excitement that was for him. Yes, well, funny you should say that, because that was the first thing that sprung to mind then. His excitement when he headed in that goal. So yes, we know that the next King Cup match is going to be against Rayo Vallecano at 8 p.m. 2nd of February. And yes, Manolo, it's very difficult, especially when you're a striker and sometimes you start on the bench, to get that opportunity to score. So it's important to have players who are just going to hold on to those goal scoring opportunities for dear life. Of course, Abdon is one of those players. He's scored a couple of important goals, and today he is back on the starting lineup in a league match once again. So hopefully he can have a good match today and keep up the good work and good performances that he's been putting on in the King's Cup.
Si vuelve a estar entonado el demonio de libertad, porque la verdad es que es importante, ¿no?, que los delanteros aparezcan y estén enchufados de cara a portería. Miraba antes también a
because it is very important for the strikers to feel that they are supporting their team and they are able to perform. So seeing some images there of Kubo once again, who seems to have quite a bump on his head emerging from that collision that he's had with Battaglia in the warm-up time. Yes, we're watching some live images of the players finishing up their warm-ups before they go into the changing rooms to hear the last words from Luis Garcia Plaza before the beginning of the match. Poor Kubo, who does keep bringing his hands to his head. He must have had quite the bump there.
Fue en el Bici Mallorca Estadio, es verdad, pero oye, buen día para volver a hacerlo,
Eso, pues hoy va de que nos estamos leyendo la mente, Dani, porque te digo, ya estaba buscando aquí qué día fue exactamente ese 10 de noviembre de de 2019 donde marcó Takefusa Kubo. Aquí vemos el gol. Ese día de lluvia. Me acordaré toda la vida del frío que pasé en las gradas.
Yes, we were just watching Take Kubo's goal there from 2019 against Villarreal. And it really was a spectacular goal that day. It was a 3-1 victory towards the end of the match. Well, I thought it was a 4-1 victory, but okay, 3-1 is still, we'll take that. Obviously, Take will be extremely eager to show Unai Emery what he's missing as well, which is only good news for us. Goals and scoring goals is what is always asked of the strikers. So hopefully, as he's on from the beginning today, he can get some balls in the back of the net, which is obviously only translates as points for Mallorca. I think in the case of Abdon Prats, he's clearly he's just in love with the team and with the island. He's a true colour Mallorcan through and through. It's very complicated to say that you want to start and finish your footballing career in Mallorca team. However, he's a very headstrong person. And scoring goals in the King's Cup already and always brings a much needed boost of confidence. However, as Luis Garcia has been saying, we need to ask more from the strikers. And I think the boys really are going to recharge now for the second leg of the league. However, that's a very complicated thing too, because they're asked, so much is asked of the strikers in the team. However, he's a very, very hard worker, so he doesn't need to get too obsessed about it. He will always give his all during the full 90 minutes. And I think every match he plays is important for him and important for the team. I mean, for me, I think that the two most complicated positions are that of goalkeeper and striker. The goalkeeper for obvious reasons. Obviously, you're protecting the rest of your team from a defeat. And then when you're a striker, it's true, the pressure goes on you. And when you are a midfielder or when you're on one of the wings, it's always a kind of supporting role, whereas the pressure is always on the strikers. And yes, so the warm-up is over now. Yes, both teams have gone into the change rooms to get their last instructions from their managers and also to obviously put their game time shirts on. We will also bring you an update in case either Battaglia or Kubo have been replaced in the starting lineup because of that bump. We don't think so. We think they will continue playing, but we will confirm that for you after very shortly. But especially Battaglia, because of the blood and because of the cut, we hope that he will be fine to play. So 10 minutes away from kickoff. Now we're going to go to one small ad break, publicity break, before the beginning of the match. So we're hoping for a victory when we come back.
Llenamos de contenidos tu vuelo y tú decides disfrutarlos o soñarlos en asientos cama. Te damos acceso directo al pasillo y tú decides máxima privacidad y confort. Llevamos más alto nuestra clase business y tú decides volar con nosotros. O no. Pero un consejo. Decide llegar tan lejos como quieras en la nueva clase business. Air Europa. Tú decides.
És el meu cor malferit que demana acció.
Un amor sense barreres davant meu ha cobrat vida.
Ja diem què passa, ja diem què passa. No sé què passa, ni per què passa, però sempre em passa.
Grupo Escribano. Somos especialistas en reformas y fachadas. Financia ahora el 100% y paga en 12 meses sin intereses. Para importes desde 200 euros hasta 200.000 euros. 0% TAE. Grupo Escribano.
Ya oímos el sonido ambiente de la cerámica porque está.
Yes, so we are hearing the surround sound now from the stadium.
De la Liga Santander, el Mallorca que jugará ante el Villarreal, Dani. Yo ya tengo muchísimas ganas de que empiece el partido. Justo
So obviously we're really excited for kickoff now, just 6 minutes away.
Esa famosa zona donde ponen las camisetas colgadas con perchas, tú las tendrás ahí, serás espectador de lujo de hoy, de ese campo tan
Obviously we're watching the Movistar images. Danny, you'll be able to see that a lot better than we can, of the football shirts that are hung up there and their coat hangers.
Contadme 3 puntos, por favor.
Bueno, pues evidentemente que lo vamos a intentar, Esteban. Aquí estamos a 5 minutos de que arranque este partido aquí en el Estadio de la Cerámica. Me estaba fijando ahora, por ejemplo, un detalle que veo desde aquí. Están todas las banderas, ¿no? Suele pasar en muchos campos de todos los clubes.
So yes, just something that I've just realized. There are flags in this stadium. which are all of the clubs from La Liga, from the first division. But I've just realized that they are placed in order of classification on the league table, which is a interesting fact.
Todavía no, pero enseguida nos va a contar cómo está Battaglia, que está bien, que está para jugar. Eso sí que
So we're getting news that Battaglia is okay. He will be playing the match.
Battaglia que va a ser de la partida después de, recordemos, ese choque, ¿no?, en el calentamiento con
Of course, we just witnessed that collision on the pitch between Battaglia and Kubo.
Con ese vendaje o no, porque efectivamente pues ya veo, sí, le veo desde aquí, me estaba fijando, ¿no?
I think both of them have been tended to by the team's medics. Battaglia may be wearing a bandage on his head. Yeah, so we see the players are in the tunnel now, waiting to come onto the pitch. Some of the Mallorca fans quite near me in the high part of the stands in the stadium. Other Mallorca fans dotted around the rest of the stadium, of course. So, Manolo, I guess you remember this stadium before it was refurbished. Yes, I was in this stadium in 1994. We did lose in the end, but hopefully Mallorca will have a different result today, and that would be a revenge for me for that day in '94. However, next year I did go back, even though it was a different team, and we won 3-1. So hopefully that's more the kind of result that we can expect today. But it's good that Rodrigo Battaglia does not have any injuries right now. He does look like a bit of a rugby player on the pitch right now with that with the staples and the bandage on his head.
Lo estoy viendo en la imagen yo y bueno, la verdad que bueno, esperemos que no sea nada porque siempre un golpe en la cabeza o un golpe.
But of course, any kind of head-on-head collision is always something to be mindful about. So we really hope that it was nothing.
Del golpe también que se llevó Cristian Vieri en la final de la Recopa de Europa con la Lazio, y fíjate la que nos lió. O sea,
la que lió, bueno, salió bastante motivado también, la verdad.
Sí, con aquel vendaje, nos marcó aquel gol, ¿no? Que sorprendió a Roa. Así que bueno, pues oye, quién sabe, si estos golpecitos también le espabilan a uno un poquito más y puede salir también. Vemos ahí a los jugadores pues ya en el túnel, ahí llevan un buen ratito. El árbitro pues que está esperando.
So yes, we are seeing those images of the players in the tunnel. They're waiting for instructions from the referee and the linesman, and here they come onto the pitch now. Mallorca players and Villarreal players making their way onto the pitch.
Recordemos que, bueno, no sé si lo habíamos comentado, pero el árbitro de este partido, que va a ser el madrileño Ortiz Arias, ha asistido a las bandas por Villaseñor Julián y Estevez Iglesias. Hoy en el videoarbitraje, Iglesias Villanueva y Muñiz en Ruiz.
So just reading out the linesman and main referee that have been chosen for today. So just going through the lineup again with Leo Roman in goal, Costa and Maffeo defending on the wings. Russo and Martin Valgent defending in the centre. Battaglia, Galarreta in the centre, and Dani Rodriguez on the right in midfield. Takefusa Kubo striking, and Abdon Prat right up the top. Of course, then several alternatives for the players to move around on the pitch. So just going through the Villarreal lineup as well. Trigueros Iborra in the centre in midfield, and striking today Moreno, Gomez, So just witnessing captains greeting each other there. Gaspar for Villarreal, Dani Rodríguez for Mallorca.
Tripleta arbitral, la piña de los jugadores del Real Mallorca. Los gritos de guerra. Piña también de los jugadores del Villarreal. Continúa sonando el himno aquí en el Estadio de la Cerámica. 4 de la tarde, 15 minutos. El árbitro que ya espera a los 22 protagonistas. Piña larga de los jugadores del Mallorca. Conjura inicial. Vemos ahí el saludo también, lo veo desde aquí, os lo cuento, entre Tom Prats y Leo Román. Así que Luis Seoane.
Yes, and also a last couple of words between Abdon Prats and Leo Roman too. So everything ready to go. And Villarreal has the first touch on the ball. However, the stadium is not completely full yet. And here we go, kickoff time.
Primero balón que pone en movimiento el Villarreal buscando ya arriba a Jeremy, que quería poner la cabeza, no conectó. Y ese balón
So
que se
Jeremy
perdió
wanted to get there in time.
saque de puerta para el Mallorca. Recordemos también a todos aquellos que
So it's going to go back to Leo Roman, first touch for Mallorca on the ball.
Disponible del Real Mallorca para seguir la retransmisión de Play Red Live. La pone Leo Roman arriba, buscando.
Leo Roman does a long pass there, searching for Abdon Prats, goes to Maffeo. Take loses the ball, but Maffeo takes it. Rebound there, Jaume Costa arrives.
La pierna de un defensor del Villarreal se cruzará muy bien Galarreta.
However, collides with a defender from Villarreal. So dangerous first encounter with the ball for Mallorca.
Hemos pisado ya área y bueno, hemos estado a punto de rematar entre los tres palos y bueno, hemos tenido ahí la primera ocasión que por lo menos ya hemos pisado campo contrario.
Yes, that was already a clear opportunity for the team.
Nosotros también hemos hecho un saque juego largo y la segunda jugada la hemos
Both touches from both teams were already had a clear intention of keeping possession.
Incursión por parte izquierda del lateral zurdo de Pedraza, su centro lo rechazó Martin Valgen para enviarlo a córner. Se vaya el encargado habitual de la estrategia en el Villarreal, Dani Parejo a la esquina.
Dani Parejo in possession for Villarreal.
Defendiendo con todo el mundo. Ese centro buscando el corazón del área.
So Mallorca is defending with everybody now. Martin Valgen defends.
Mario que la pone a la izquierda para Parejo, que la controla, juega por abajo con Alberto Moreno entre líneas, zona de tres cuartos.
Alberto Moreno in possession for Villarreal. Pass to Triguero. Parejo is there once again.
Afortunadamente era Raúl Albiol el que la buscaba, se le escapó ese control.
Luckily they miss and lose the ball.
La cabeza de uno, la cabeza de otro, la baja con el pecho Pau, pide calma a su compañero. Vuelta a empezar del Villarreal.
Villarreal now working among themselves. Heads and chest as well.
En esta banda derecha con Mario Gaspar puso la pierna Rodríguez. Balón a saque de banda.
The ball goes out and it's going to be a throw-in for Mallorca. Actually, it's going to be a throw-in for Villarreal. Trigueros takes it, passes to Jeremy. Costa gets in there to cut off for Mallorca. Both teams fighting to gain possession and control of the match. Short pass by Trigueros.
Será saque de banda. Bueno, pues se empezó con intensidad, Manolo, este partido.
Sí, la verdad que bueno, el Villarreal.
So intense start to the match, Manolo.
La pelota y el Mallorca está aguantando bien estos primeros minutos y bueno, se ve.
Yes, obviously Villarreal are eager to get possession and domain of the ball, but Mallorca are doing a very good job in holding them off at the moment. We've got to try and do some long attacks, keep control of the ball, and not leave any gaps for the Villarreal players to get through. Throw in for Villarreal.
El capitán del equipo, Mario Gaspar. El Mallorca que defiende con muchos efectivos. Ahí está el
Captain Mario Gaspar takes it. Pass it to Parejo. Dani Rodriguez cuts them off. That's a foul.
Por tanto, ahora será un buen balón, para que la ponga Parejo. El árbitro dice que un poquito más atrás.
Good ball there. Good angle for Parejo too. Referee instructs him to move around. Iborra, Torres, etc. are all going to be looking for the rebound. It's definitely going to be a dangerous play. Just 4.5 minutes gone when Parejo is going to take this free kick. Pau rebounds, but Valgent defends. Galarreta takes it. Jaume Costa in possession. Amat in possession now. Stolen, but back to Maffeo. And it's a throw-in for Mallorca. Maffeo is going to take it. Battaglia asks for the ball, short pass, but it goes back to Martin Valgent. Back to Franco Russo. Pressure by Villarreal on now with Trigueros. Maffeo slightly loses control there, but Moreno manages to steal it. And it goes out. Pedraza is going to take it for Villarreal.
De momento muy parados ahora mismo los jugadores. Ahora sí se mueve Trigueros. Finalmente tiene que ponerla atrás para Pau. El central que juega en cortito para Dani Parejo, que se ofrece para iniciar jugada. La tiene ya Raúl Albiol.
Parejo and Albiol in possession for Villarreal. Ndiaye and Dani Rodriguez in the mix there. But ends up back in Villarreal's possession with Gerard Mourinho.
En esta previa, el exportero del Real Mallorca, entre otros. De nuevo Rulli. Ahora un poquito parado el partido, Manolo.
Sí, bueno, el Villarreal le gusta, es un equipo que le gusta tener la posesión de la pelota y el Mallorca está aguantando bien y bueno, en los primeros 7 minutos que llevamos pues tampoco no ha pasado mucho, pero lo importante es que el Mallorca no se meta atrás, está saliendo. Y sobre todo hemos tenido dos jugadas, balones largos que le podemos hacer peligro sobre todo al Villarreal porque nos tenga un poquito de respeto.
Of course, it's important for Mallorca not to shrink now and think that they've got to keep back. We've got to keep being aggressive and trying to get up the front.
Cayó Luis esa falta a Battaglia, que ya había hecho una buena recuperación. Bueno, ha salido a pesar del vendaje bien el argentino.
Sí, gracias a Dios está bien y bueno, tiene un vendaje que parece un jugador.
Yeah, so obviously at the moment we're witnessing Battaglia play. Thank God he does feel fine after that collision that we saw in the warm-up time.
Para el jugador argentino no lo consideró así Ortiz Arias, el árbitro principal hoy del comité madrileño, y será falta peligrosa para el Villarreal.
Cuidado que viene Alberto Moreno en el centro. Iborra, afortunadamente que puso la cabeza mal.
That was a shot there from Iborra, but luckily his head angle to head that ball was not correct then. If he tilted his head slightly, that could have gone straight back into the back of the net. Obviously, that would have depended on whether Leo Roman had been ready for the ball or not, but that would have been extremely dangerous, so we're lucky that he didn't place his head particularly well then.
Para el Villarreal es el segundo del partido, el segundo para ellos. Ahí está Alberto Moreno que la vuelve a poner. Ese balón que buscaba Albiol, rechazó bien la defensa. Aparece Franco Russo, pero recupera el Villarreal, que efectivamente pues se ha adueñado ahora de la pelota del balón. El Mallorca esperando su oportunidad.
So it does seem that Villarreal have definitely dominated the ball at the moment. Mallorca seem to be waiting for their opportunity. Here it is. It's Dani Rodriguez in possession. Dani Rodriguez complains about almost a slap there from Mario Gaspar, and it is the foul is whistled.
El jugador de Betanzos, ese golpe en la cara parece que se recupera. Mira al árbitro como pidiéndole algo, también pide explicaciones al jugador del Villarreal. Recuperado Dani Rodríguez.
Saca ya el Mallorca jugando en defensa con el portero, con Leo Román, que Manolo, no sé si lo viste, imagino que sí, porque estabas creo que en el campo. La verdad es que el último partido no tenía problemas en salir ahí jugando de atrás. Incluso cuidado, que viene el Villarreal. A córner, Jaume Costa.
And Villarreal is on the attack now. Jaume Costa cut them off then. It was offside, luckily though. The linesman raised the flag there. So yes, they're definitely up for some risk taking today.
Juega igual tanto en el filial del Mallorca como en la oportunidad que da ahora Luis García Plaza, y para él es un partido de fútbol, y eso, la tranquilidad que le da a un equipo, parece que es un chico pues muy tranquilo, y sobre todo con el balón en los pies a veces pone nerviosos pero él está muy tranquilo, la verdad, y sobre todo tiene la confianza de Luis García.
Yes, we have to say that Leo Roman is really impressive in his performances, because despite the dangerous occasions, he really keeps his act together and he looks very calm and collected. Mallorca in possession. Galarreta passes to Martin Valgent. Amat, slightly too long a pass there from him, but Mallorca recovers the ball. Battaglia is well placed, but there is a foul by Amat Ndiaye. Yes, we really can't let the ball escape just even centimeters away from us, because Villarreal are right there anticipating our next move.
Jugando el Villarreal ahí atrás con Pau Torres, ese balón para Albiol, aparece Iborra para habilitar a su compañero en defensa, el balón para el portero, para Rulli, que juega por abajo con Pau, presiona a Mata, a ver si puede recuperar al Mallorca, a ver si puede aparecer también Kubo, el control de Pedraza.
Mallorca trying to regain control of the ball.
Jugando con calidad también Dani Parejo.
Dani Parejo playing for Villarreal, confident play from him.
Los primeros aplausos de su público a Albiol, que la pone en largo, buscando a los delanteros. La mano, yo creo, la mano no. Dice que no, el colegiado de Jeremy. Ese balón por abajo para Alberto Moreno. Control orientado. Bien.
Moreno in possession for Villarreal. Jaume Costa, very good defense work then.
Porque era un buen balón, Jugando ya el Villarreal de nuevo. Pedraza en cortito para Alberto Moreno. Muy activo en estos primeros 11 minutos de juego. El balón a la izquierda. Aparece Pedraza buscando la línea de fondo. La quiere poner. Y el gol en propia portería de Franco Russo. El gol en propia portería de Franco Russo.
And that is an own goal already by Franco Russo. Just 11 minutes into the first half. Leo Roman tries to support Franco Russo. Jaume Costa also trying to cheer on his teammates and trying to defend by Franco Russo there. Very, very unlucky for him. Very unfortunate own goal. Yeah, it really is a shame, because obviously it's the last thing you want to happen to you, but this is football. He was going to clear the ball, but in the end, yeah, it was obviously unexpected from Roman too, so they're just going to go onwards and upwards. There's nothing else you can do about it. Luckily, it's really, really early days.
Ha sido un centro pues a la olla, y bueno, intenta despejar, y con tal mala fortuna que ha ido entre los tres palos.
Que le dio pues un poco en el muslo, ¿no? En la rodilla, sí, a Franco Russo.
En la rodilla. Prácticamente, pues bueno, ha ido a despejar y ha salido entre los tres palos, y la verdad que bueno, ha sido una desgracia, pero bueno, estaba entre la trayectoria de la portería, y lo importante ahora es el Mallorca que se reponga dentro de poco a este resultado, y sobre todo que bueno, que el Villarreal no siga, porque los primeros 15 minutos es muy importante, sobre todo aguantar el empuje del equipo local.
And of course, now we really have to prevent Villarreal from getting too confident. Another attack there from Villarreal. This time Franco Russo does manage to rebound. It goes to a corner, the third one in the match.
Sobre todo, pues ese gol, ¿no? Que encaja sin seguramente merecerlo, pero bueno, la lectura positiva es que no ha sido un fallo, ¿no? Sino que es una jugada desafortunada. Así que bueno, el equipo tiene que seguir insistiendo. Quedan muchísimos partidos. Si habían que encajar, mejor que sea pronto. Vamos a ver el córner, lo contamos. Ahí está, Parejo que la vuelve a poner.
So we're here witnessing the corner now.
También por arriba la disputa Kubo, pero el balón vuelve a ser para el Villarreal.
Kubo battling to get the ball, but the ball goes back to Villarreal. Parejo in possession again. Shoots at goal and luckily saved by Leo Roman.
Ese remate un poquito mordido, estaba bien colocado, pero el portero del Real Mallorca.
So slightly stress-inducing moment for everybody in Mallorca's corner just then, but luckily Roman was well placed to receive that ball.
Esperar que pase la tormenta, sobre todo en estos minutos que bueno, el Villarreal está teniendo la posesión de la pelota y el Mallorca pues intentar hacerle un poco de daño arriba para que el Villarreal pues no se sienta tan cómodo en el partido.
Yes, I think it's a question of possession as well, and Mallorca needs to get some possession at the top so that Villarreal don't feel so confident in what they're doing at the moment. Jaume Costa passes, looking for Dani Rodriguez, but now Villarreal, that means that they are on the counter-attack. Dani Rodriguez and Galarreta playing. Mallorca getting back into their positions and back to the start. Pau in possession for Villarreal, playing with Albiol. Pass back to Rulli. So obviously this is only going to make Villarreal want even more possession than before.
Con la posesión del balón y bueno, es un equipo que le gusta tenerlo y bueno, está esperando que...
Of course, they are extremely comfortable being in possession and dominating the game.
Ellos no es un equipo que rifen la pelota, le gusta tener la posesión y si el Mallorca les presiona un poquito más arriba, yo creo que si robamos arriba les podemos hacer...
I think hopefully if we can steal some more balls up the top of the pitch, that is going to make all the difference in this match.
Le gusta mucho jugar, sobre todo a veces pues tiene algunos fallos y eso si le aprietas un poquito, sobre todo
Rulli, for example, even though he does love playing and he loves getting into the game and using his feet, that means he makes more mistakes than the average player too, so that's something we can exploit. Triguero takes the ball on the counter-attack, slight shove there against Amat. There was a clear foul against him. Ball goes back to Villarreal now.
Pues evidentemente un gol inesperado, un jarro de agua fría para el banquillo del Mallorca, pero enseguida han intentado animar al equipo en esos primeros minutos de partido, como bien comentabais, que no es una jugada desafortunada, no es un fallo clamoroso por parte de nadie, sino que es una jugada desafortunada. Cuidado que va el Villarreal.
Sí, va a ser córner el cuarto ya, me parece a mí, si no me corrigen mis compañeros. Otro saque de esquina, ¿no? Para el submarino amarillo, de nuevo preparado Alberto Moreno.
So it's going to be another corner for Villarreal now.
En defensa, el lateral ex del Villarreal, de nuevo situación de peligro, de nuevo todo el Mallorca.
Another dangerous occasion and opportunity for Villarreal.
Lo deja botar Raúl Albiol, problemas ahí en el control, lo hace bien, pero el veterano central que se marcha además de Pablo Maffeo la quería poner y saca un córner.
So, and luckily it is another corner thanks to some defense work there from Pablo Maffeo. But in fact, it was Battaglia who ended up sending the ball out, which means the corner. So some good defense work at the moment, just, except of that moment, of course, with Franco Russo.
La busca Albiol, cae al suelo emparejado aquí con Pablo Maffeo, no hay absolutamente nada, será saque de puerta, la pondrá de nuevo Leo Roman. Bueno, pues Manolo, 18 minutos de juego y el equipo no, tiene que volver a aparecer e intentar recuperar ese balón y sobre todo mandar algún sustito, ¿no?
Sí, sobre todo
a Gerardo Rulli.
Ellos están apretando arriba y sobre todo ellos... Pues llevamos 18 minutos y han sacado 5 corners, o sea, es que no, pues
yes, I mean 5 corners in 18 minutes
segunda jugada les podemos ganar y meterles algún sustito para
que is definitely quite intense. So we do need to try and create some scary moments for the Villarreal team to show them what we're made of. Ball goes back to Rulli now, Villarreal's goalkeeper. Albiol in possession. Abdon Prats putting the pressure on there. Good work from him there. And yeah, that's what it's all about. Especially a goalkeeper like Rulu, who likes to play a lot with his feet in goal. It's always really nice to scare him in that way. And I think Abdon did really well there to do that. Take is there. Take is still in possession. Maffeo controls the ball, passes to Take again, still in possession. Ahmad and into the goalkeeper's hands. Excellent play there. Very, very good pass there from Take to Ahmad. What a well-angled ball. Goes straight into Ruli's hands. Good opportunity for us there. And Take is once again, he's there. And it's going to be a corner for Mallorca now. This is what we wanted to see from Mallorca.
Es complicado apretarle durante los 90 minutos, pero mira, hemos hecho una jugada que hemos terminado, Take, que bueno, cada vez que coge la pelota es peligro y Amad pues ha tenido mala suerte porque ha ido en medio. Si llega a ir a un lado, pues estaríamos cantando el gol del Mallorca. No hubiera llegado y hubiéramos cantado el gol del empate del Mallorca, pero el Mallorca en 2 minutos que ha apretado arriba, en un saque de banda a favor del Villarreal, se ha robado y ahora tenemos un córner que esperemos a ver si hacemos peligro.
Bueno, pues se sacó sin consecuencias, no, porque las puede haber.
So it looked like it was going to be a corner with no consequences, but in fact, there are going to be consequences because Villarreal is on the counter-attack. And it's another ball for Leo Roman's hands.
Ahí con un poco de rosca Jeremy, afortunadamente el balón terminó de nuevo en las manos de Leo Román. Claro, ellos a la contra, evidentemente, también pueden hacer mucho daño.
Sí, con espacio son un equipo muy rápido, lo que pasa es que el Mallorca no tiene que conceder esas contras, sobre todo de un saque de córner a favor de nosotros. Hay que pararlo mucho antes y bueno, esperar que bueno, el Mallorca pues ahora a ver si tenemos otra ocasión clara, pero ellos con espacio son muy peligrosos.
However, every time Villarreal sees some gaps, they're very good at getting in there and making some damage. But positive news for us is that Take is getting more present and present. Galarreta passes to Bataglia now, Mallorca in possession. Costa goes towards the midfield looking for Ahmad. Passes back to Take. Let's see what Take improvises, and it's going to be another corner. All the balls are going through Take right now. Yes, I mean everything that gets, obviously it's like the golden touch from him right now, and it's what we really need.
Ahí va el córner. Ahí está el saque de esquina y el remate de Franco Russo, creo que tocó en un defensa, así que va a ser de nuevo córner. El tercero del partido. Mira, pues poquito a poco el Mallorca que también se va acercando a los 5 que ya ha sacado el Villarreal. Ahora en poquito tiempo 3 para el Mallorca.
Eso es importante, quitarse la
So a third corner for Mallorca now. We seem to be picking up the pace, which is very good news for us.
A ver si podemos hacer daño también. De nuevo Take Kubo con su pierna izquierda. Ahí está el japonés que la pone muy cerradita. Tanto que ha terminado en las manos de Gerardo Rulli.
So a bit of a too gentle a kick then, so it easily goes into Ruli's hands. Villarreal is playing in defense now. Galarreta defending with a header there. Good work from him. Take in possession. Passes to Galarreta, passes to Ahmad. Mallorca starting to work now. Maffeo passes to Bataglia. Martin Valgent there. Maffeo does not get there in time. He needed a couple of extra centimeters to be able to reach that header.
Mientras que Unai Emery pedía tranquilidad con los brazos a su equipo, pedía tranquilidad a Rulli porque no le están gustando estos últimos minutos en el que Mallorca ha volcado el campo hacia el lado del Villarreal.
Yes, we could see Unai Emery there, Villarreal's manager, asking his team to keep calm and telling the goalkeeper Rulli to calm down because he's clearly feeling threatened by Mallorca's last couple of minutes. Yeah, you can definitely tell a shift in the play right now. We're much more in Villarreal's playing field. We're stealing the ball and we're creating opportunities.
Dani Parejo que no encontraba ahí a quien era Iborra, ¿no? Que no encontraba a quién pasársela. Ahora sí es Dani Parejo el que juega con
Parejo in possession.
Ya en territorio mallorquinista. Presión ataque Kubo. Todavía Pau.
Take piling pressure on.
Con Iborra, este es Trigueros. De nuevo para Pau.
Iborra and Trigueros, a pass back to Pau.
De Battaglia que al solo y la falta. Bien Battaglia, muy bien en la anticipación.
Battaglia goes down there and that's going to be a foul, but good work from the defensive pivot from Mallorca there.
Sacará el 16 mallorquinista ya rápidamente para Martin Valgen. Gana metros ahí.
Ball goes to Martin Valgent.
Para Franco Russo. Rodríguez de primeras atrás. Para Martin Valgen. Este con Battaglia de nuevo. Lápida arriba, Don Prats. La tiene pero Maffeo. Maffeo con Battaglia. Jugando a fuego lento. Cocinando.
Maffeo in possession. Slow play by Mallorca here. Hopefully they're planning it well.
Y eso yo creo que le viene bien.
Sí, vamos a ver, el Mallorca cuando tiene el balón tiene que hacer posesiones largas porque tiene que hacer correr al Villarreal, porque el Villarreal no es un equipo que le guste correr detrás de la pelota y quieras que no, pues eso.
Obviously that's the whole point of what we're doing right now. Villarreal is definitely not the kind of team that wants to be chasing the ball. They're the ones that want to be dominating. But we just need to keep doing what we've been doing in the last couple of minutes of the match.
Le faltó poquito también a Don Prats.
Es un poco lo que comentaba el míster Luis García Plaza, ¿no? En esa rueda de prensa.
Don was nearly in time then.
Y lo comentaba también el míster, ¿no? Que se trataba de tener la pelota, de que la pelota le dure al Mallorca en los pies, de que esa posesión dure para hacer sufrir también al Villarreal.
Jugando el submarino amarillo, Martin Valgen que la pone arriba para Dani Rodríguez, la controló bien, el de Betanzos con Battaglia, buen partido el argentino. Galarreta también bien jugando atrás para Martin Valgen.
Galarreta and Battaglia in possession, pass back to Martin Valgent, who noticed that he was going to have problems, so passed back to Leo Roman. Roman passes to Valgent, who tries to go for a long pass to Abdon, who was offside and just let the ball go past him. Take steals the ball, but the ball gets stolen back then. Villarreal is in the counter-attack.
El balón a la izquierda donde está Alberto Moreno, la controla.
Ball goes to Moreno to the left.
Moreno jugando atrás para Parejo, le puede pegar. Le pegó por arriba del travesaño.
Parejo goes for it, but it goes over the crossbar.
Es que claro, Manolo, cuando se ponen a jugar está claro, ¿no? Que Iborra, Parejo, Trigueros, es que son jugadores de mucha calidad.
Mucha calidad, o sea, la salida del balón que ha tenido Parejo ha sido... Bueno, el caño que le ha hecho al jugador del Mallorca ha sido impresionante y la verdad que, bueno, ellos a la contra también son un equipo muy peligroso y piensan
They are a really dangerous team on the counter-attack. You know, as you can see, they're not doing really dramatic, long, big passes. They're all about playing low down with their feet. But Mallorca seemed to have shaken off the pressure that we had in the first 15 minutes. danger there from Moreno, but luckily defended by Jaume Costa. He was looking to pass for Jeremy. Sorry to interrupt you, Manolo, but there are a couple of seconds of delay from where you are in Somos, of course.
También el Villarreal presiona también arriba porque sabe que el Mallorca es un equipo que no rifa la pelota y por ahí si presionas al fin y al cabo vienen las ocasiones porque estás nada a poco tiempo a pocos metros de llegar a la portería rival. Tanto el Villarreal como el Mallorca si presionan arriba pues tienen oportunidad de robar la pelota y de hacer daño a cada uno a su equipo, digamos, porque el Villarreal también está presionando a la salida del balón del Mallorca y el Mallorca le gusta jugar desde atrás.
Yes, however, we must point out how Mallorca definitely is putting the pressure on now every time they get in possession. Be a throw-in now for Villarreal after the ball was lost then because of a too long a pass. Battaglia leaves the ball go out again because he knows it's going to be a ball for Mallorca. So yes, very unfortunate start to the match for us today with that own goal by Franco Russo in the 11th minute. Since then we have been working to get back to a equalised position. Hopefully we will see the equaliser. Parejo passes backwards to Pau. Passes to Pedraza in front of Pablo Maffeo, who cuts them off very nicely. Back to Dani Parejo, who's playing with Albiol at the moment. Gaspar recovers the ball.
Por abajo para Trigueros, el control se le escapa un poquito y va a pitar falta el árbitro, pero se la llevó el Villarreal y ahora sí, la falta sobre Dani Rodríguez, la falta de Iborra.
Referee was going to whistle the foul there, but Villarreal takes the ball and eventually, yes, the foul is whistled against Dani Rodriguez, so the ball goes to Mallorca. Iborra helps Dani Rodriguez to get back up there.
Esos buenos minutos de ataque Kubo, ¿no?
Sí, la verdad que bueno, el Mallorca cuando tiene la posesión larga y sobre todo Taque cuando coge es peligro, o sea, es peligro porque todo el fútbol de peligro pasa por sus botas y se está viendo. Enseguida que Taque pueda coger la pelota, pues tiene peligro el Mallorca sobre todo la parte de arriba.
Yes, I think both teams are aware that as soon as Taque manages to touch the ball, things start getting much more dangerous than they were before, and the game gets risen to a whole another dimension. Yeah, so that was a really, really large gain in meters there for Mallorca on the right wing. We'll see if we can get inside the goal scoring area. Villarreal defending with everybody they've got. Baldin and Russo staying outside the goal scoring area at the moment. Short pass to Taque. Back to Maffeo. And that is a foul there, and it's going to be in a dangerous position. Very close to the goal scoring area in the slightly to the right. I think Taque, being a left footer, is going to take this free kick. I think the players should run towards the first post, even if they don't touch the ball, just to try and distract Rulli, the goalkeeper. Galarreta does it. Rebounded by the defense, but Jeremy takes the ball. Honestly, yes, so Galarreta was the last, was finally the decision to take the free kick, I guess, to distract, and now Villarreal are on the counter-attack. Pedraza in possession. And Trigueros
para Pedraza, el lateral zurdo, que entró como una exhalación por esa parte izquierda. Se marchó de Galarreta.
All the merit goes to Pedraza there. He managed to fit straight through one of the gaps on the left-hand side. Trigueros was ready and waiting to receive that ball, which went straight past Leo Roman into the back of the net. We know that they have extremely high quality, very fast players. 33rd minute of the match, second goal for Villarreal today.
La falta teníamos que haber terminado la jugada y no dejar hacer una contra porque ellos son muy peligrosos y se ha visto en esta jugada.
Yes, well, we know that they're a dangerous team. We should have finished up that play then after the corner and after the free kick, sorry, rather than allow them to go out on the counter attack.
Llegar arriba, terminar la jugada, que no tengan una contra, porque prácticamente una falta que hemos tenido a favor. Luis García Plaza seguramente estará muy enfadado por este gol que nos han metido.
Of course, I imagine Luis Garcia Plaza is going to be extremely annoyed at this goal that was just scored. Yes, immensely angry there, Luis Garcia Plaza.
Madrileño que no ha parado de gesticular, visiblemente enfadado, chillando, comentando la jugada con los jugadores que tiene en el banquillo y con sus asistentes también en el banquillo.
Talking about what has gone on with his players on the bench and the rest of the technical team. He's clearly not a happy man.
Sobre una falta a favor tuya que estás atacando.
Yes, I mean, to allow the goal to be scored straight after a free kick that you've taken with the intention of scoring is it's unacceptable at this level of the league.
No sabe dónde va a ir la pelota. Triguero también ha recibido solo y con el interior la ha puesto a donde él ha querido.
Y cuidado que ahora quiere gustarse un poquito el Villarreal, buscaba ahí el lucimiento Alberto Moreno, el balón de Trigueros, el autor del segundo gol que queda corto, se la lleva
Moreno and Trigueros.
Para el jugador del Villarreal.
Danny Rodriguez steals the ball, but that is definitely a foul for a Villarreal player, but it looks like it's going to be a card as well.
Por cortar esa contra iniciada por Dani Rodríguez.
Yes, that is going to be a yellow card for Gaspar, Villarreal's captain, for cutting off Danny Rodriguez's counter-attack there. However, Manolo, we've got to remain optimistic. We have seen teams come back from worse than this. Yes, however, they're a very intelligent team. We could see Mario Gaspar there, who, despite getting the yellow card, completely annihilated Danny Rodriguez's attempt at a counter-attack. Short pass to Battaglia, Galarreta in possession for Mallorca now. Less than 10 minutes for the end of the first half. Still a long way to go. Back to Villarreal now, but Battaglia manages to steal the ball, passes to Martin Valgent. Valgent playing with Russo. Passes left to Jaume Costa. Back to the centre to Galarreta. Galarreta playing with Battaglia. Ball goes to Take Kubo, who's looking for the quality, but stolen by Pedraza, who is having a fantastic match today for Villarreal. Yes, he's managing to steal the ball very often. He's doing very, very well. Yes, and that pass backwards to Triguero was immense.
Apretar ya un poquito el frío aquí en Villarreal después de un día soleado, pero ahora ya evidentemente así como va cayendo la tarde, el ambiente cada vez más fresco, al menos para los que estamos evidentemente parados, porque los jugadores supongo que no tienen frío ni mucho menos.
Also, the weather here and the climate is definitely getting chillier as the minutes go by. Albiol in possession, very calm player. As we close, the first half comes to a close.
Rulli de nuevo con el central, el veterano Raúl Albiol.
Rulli playing with the extremely veteran midfielder Albiol.
Alberto Moreno que dejaba de primeras bien para Trigueros, buscaba la falta ruso, dice que lo colegiado y cuidado, que tenemos un central menos. Ataca el Villarreal, cuidado Jeremy que la quiere poner por abajo.
Villarreal is on the counter-attack.
Puso la pierna Jaume Costa para enviar a saque de
Luckily, Jaume Costa was there to defend and to cut him off, but it goes to a corner. They're going to take this very quickly. They're clearly eager for more now. Albiol in possession to Parejo. Thinks again and passes it back to Albiol, who's playing with Pau and Pedraza. Take Kubo puts the pressure on, but Villarreal are in no rush. Change of direction. Headers there, last one by Battaglia. Abdon appears there in the mix. Jeremy, but well defended by Jaume Costa.
Se recupera ya el jugador del Real Mallorca. La pondrá el jugador, el portero del Real Mallorca, Leo Román, con su pierna derecha. Minuto 40 de partido con ese 2-0 en el marcador. Buscando ahí a Don Prats, la cabeza del Dimoni, la cabeza también de Mario Gaspar. Otra vez a Don Prats. Buscando
Abdon Prats there, header. Looking for Dani Rodriguez.
La bandera, pero no, silbó el colegiado. Le cayó la falta a Dani Rodríguez. Es balón para.
There's a foul whistled against Dani Rodriguez. So the ball goes to Villarreal. Well, foul committed by Dani Rodriguez.
A Dani Rodríguez. Le pitaron manos en esa acción.
Apparently it was handball there. Parejo and Iborra playing.
Jugando de primeras atrás.
Iborra again.
Hay que intentar, Manolo, quitarle el balón al Villarreal. Va a ser complicado, ¿no? En esta recta final de la primera parte, pero hay que intentarlo.
But I guess, Manolo, we've just got to try and steal the ball from the other team now. Yes, it's a complicated challenge. They are really comfortable being in possession. It's tough now. There's only 5 minutes left of the first half. But if we put the pressure on up the top of the pitch, that's going to make the world of difference.
El control y el pase para Pau. El jugador del Villarreal que entra ya en territorio mallorquinista. Ahí está Pau tocando en cortito para Iborra. Con Raúl Albiol.
Pau and Iborra in possession as well as Albiol.
Primera parte, la salida de balón de su equipo. El pase filtrado de Pau buscando la velocidad aquí de Muy Gómez. Se cruzó y protegió bien a Martín Vallen, que tenía un poquito de ventaja. Y pudo dejar que ese balón se perdiera por la línea de fondo. La pondrá desde su arco Leo Román. Vamos a ver si se cae en cortito. Finalmente, si
Leo Román is going to kick out from the goal. Short pass to Martin Valgent, who plays with Franco Russo. Pass left to Jaume Costa.
La ventaja aquí para Raúl Albiol. Bueno.
Just a long pass, which is intercepted by Albiol from Villarreal.
¿Cuántos años tendrá? Por cierto, lo voy a chequear ahora.
Just going to check Albiol's age, actually, who is 36 years old, in fact. So even though I said earlier that he's a veteran player, he clearly has many good years ahead of him still.
Es un central muy veterano, la verdad que va muy bien de cabeza, tiene una salida de balón muy buena y la verdad que bueno, es un jugador ya contrastado. Me parece que viene del Nápoles, el último equipo.
Sí, del Napoli. Tercera temporada en el Villarreal. Cuidado, cuidado, que viene el Mallorca. Ahí está.
Yes, it's his third season, but Mallorca is on the attack.
El balón que le queda nuevo a Galarreta. Abre a la derecha para
Galarreta in possession after Abdon Pratt slightly misses the mark.
El asistente estaba adelantado, Pablo Maffeo. Bueno, pues
Maffeo was offside there, so the linesman brings the flag up.
Me parece a mí que ha pecado un poquito, es verdad que era su pierna derecha, que él es zurdo, pero un poquito ahí de generosidad, ¿no? Porque yo creo que le podía pegar incluso.
I think Jaume Costa was slightly too generous there. It is true that he is obviously a left footer and he was kicking with his right foot.
En esas posiciones tiene que terminar la jugada para que no te hagan.
But Mallorca need to start finishing up these plays to avoid Villarreal going out on the counter-attack.
Desde la parte de atrás, pero hay que finalizar la jugada para sobre todo que no te hagan una contra como ha sido en el segundo gol.
Vuelve a poner la cabeza y borra también Jaume Costa poniéndola arriba con Adon Pras, al Dimón y dejando detalles de calidad. La quiere bajar delante de tres jugadores, la pone atrás para Jaume Costa que evita que ese balón se pierda por la línea de banda. Retrasa para su portero. Leo Román. Bueno, el equipo que quiere intentar terminar esta primera parte.
Back to Leo Román now.
Sensaciones para afrontar la segunda, pues haciendo borrón y cuenta nueva, ¿no? Al menos a nivel de resultado.
Sí, ahora
marcarse Manolo, pues objetivos cortos, ¿no?
Sí, sobre todo, bueno, terminar con este resultado que no vaya más y sobre todo salir la segunda parte e intentar pues meter un gol y que te metan el partido, o sea.
I think we're seeing now this half-time talk in the changing rooms, and the change in strategy is going to be key for them to come out aggressively for the second half and try to score as much as they can.
Y no te meten ese gol, pero bueno, son cosas del fútbol que te pueden pasar y esto es lo que tiene el Villarreal.
However, the own goal that happened today is just part of football, I guess. You know, something that can always happen. You always hope it's not going to happen to you, but it is what it is.
Daremos más peligro. Porque ya
Bueno,
termina la primera parte.
No hay tiempo para más. Llegamos al
And there's no time for anything else in this first half. The whistle has been blown. It is the end of the first half here, so we're going to go and talk to our colleague Luis with this 2-0 defeat. Yes, so the players walk into the changing rooms at this half-time mark. We can see Jaume Costa talking to Mario Gaspar in the middle of the pitch there. The only two players are still on the pitch. However, the referees are still pacing around as well as the linesmen. So yes, as you have been saying, we've got 45 minutes now to try and turn this result around.
Por 2-0 del Villarreal. Dani, te dejamos tomar un poquito de agua, un poquito de descanso. Enseguida volvemos a conectar contigo.
So yes, Danny, we're going to let you have a rest and a bit of water and come back with all the energy and excitement that we need to face up to the second half now. Yes, so thank you very much for that. So obviously some bad news from here at the moment, but lots to expect now from the boys in the second half. So Manolo, what a first half for us to experience, right?
Ha empezado un poco con dudas, ¿no? Y el Villarreal pues le das un poco de cancha, como aquel que dice, y lo hemos visto, ¿no? Es un equipo que sabe jugar muy bien al fútbol. Se ha encontrado con ese gol de Russo en propia, después esa buena...
They're very good at playing football, despite their first goal coming from an own goal by Franco Russo, of course.
Un gol te mete en el partido, un gol es lo que tiene que hacer el Mallorca, lo que tiene que buscar nada más salir de vestuarios.
However, the whole thing is about goals now. It's about scoring, and that's what Mallorca needs to look for as soon as they come out of the changing rooms. Yes, I mean, the first half has been a very calm first half of Villarreal. You know, they hadn't created barely any dangerous opportunities like Mallorca had, but then suddenly they were the ones that were 1-0 up.
Taque Kubo, que bueno, que hemos presionado la salida.
However, we can't overlook the fact that Take Kubo had a fair few good chances and good opportunities with the ball.
No te lo pueden meter, sobre todo en una falta a favor del Mallorca, que bueno, Luis García Plaza, Luis Seoane ya lo ha visto, estará muy enfadado, sobre todo porque es una contra que el Villarreal en la contra tiene jugadores muy rápidos.
However, as Luis was saying, Luis García Plaza is going to be extremely annoyed because of that second goal, of course. He will think for sure that that should not have happened that way.
Si el Mallorca presiona arriba y le quita la posesión de la pelota, sobre todo al Villarreal, pues el Villarreal lo va a pasar mal, y sobre todo si el Mallorca mete un gol, pues se meterá en el partido.
Dichosas contras.
I think now it's all about piling the pressure on and trying to get back in the match.
Con esa sensación de que podría haber sido totalmente otra situación, pero bueno, ya está. Nos gusta remar a los mallorquinistas, tendremos que remar.
You know, however, it is what it is, and Mallorcans and Mallorca fans, we know that we're used to just you know, getting in the boat and having to row to keep afloat.
Volvía a recuperar esa sensación de peligro, la jugada de Amat, algún acercamiento de Jaume Costa por la izquierda, de Pablo Maffeo.
There were some good moments from Amat and from Jaume Costa in the first half too.
Es muy difícil, ¿no?, quitarle esa pelota con jugadores como Parejo y Borra. Hemos visto
it is very difficult to steal the ball, especially in midfield, with players such as Parejo and Pedraza. But yes, obviously, it's we can only imagine how Luis Garcia is treating and addressing the players right now. He might be giving them a row, or he might be choosing another route. Yeah, I think he'll be telling them to be careful with those counterattacks, and telling them that we can't afford to keep doing that.
Que le gusta tener la pelota, pero si se le aprieta arriba se le puede robar, y el Mallorca, si sale arriba a apretar arriba, pues un gol, así como ellos, el primer gol ha sido un centro, que ha sido un autogol nuestro, pues, que es una desgracia del fútbol. ¿Por qué el Mallorca no puede meter un gol igual? O sea, pero bueno.
You know, of course, obviously, we won't talk too much about the first one, which of course was just simply one of those unlucky moments in football. But if we think about the second goal, why can't Mallorca score another one like that in our favour in the second half? It's perfectly possible, and we're going to have to hope that something like that actually happens.
Justo estaba viendo la imagen repetida del gol de Russo, ¿no? Ese centro de Pedraza, que es un muy buen balón, precisamente a Trigueros, que es justamente quien acaba la jugada del segundo, mismos protagonistas. Qué pena, porque al final pues Russo toca con la rodilla como
However, even though we won't talk about it too much, it is extremely unlucky from Russo, because that touch on the ball that he had, it could easily have just gone to a corner instead, but it was just slightly misangled, unfortunately, and he just didn't have time to take his foot away then, and it was such a hard rebound as well that I don't even think Russo expected his foot to connect with the ball. It's one of those kicks that I think even if he'd actually tried to kick it the same, it probably wouldn't have been able to. It probably wouldn't have been possible.
Sobre todo a Russo, porque bueno, y al portero menos, porque es una jugada desgraciada. O sea, que bueno, esto te puede pasar, y nada, hay que pasar página y mirar la segunda parte, como he dicho, y intentar meter.
However, we've just got to move on, and we've got to concentrate on the second half now.
Y quieres que no, pues bueno, es difícil puntuar en el campo del Villarreal, lo sabíamos, pero bueno, quedan 45 minutos, y si el Mallorca va hacia arriba, yo creo que les podemos hacer un poquito más de peligro que le hemos hecho en la primera parte.
Pues 45 minutos quedan para intentar remontar este 2-0 del Villarreal, gracias, diremos, los goles de Franco Russo en propia puerta, y ese de Trigueros en el 34. Nosotros también, Manolo,
so yes, there was that own goal from Russo in the 11th minute and Trigueros' goal in the 34th minute.
Esa remontada en esta jornada 22 entre el de momento Villarreal 2, Mallorca 0.
So we will go to a very short ad break, and we'll be back with you very soon.
Grupo Escribano. Somos especialistas en reformas y fachadas. Financia ahora el 100% y paga en 12 meses sin intereses. Para importes desde 200 euros hasta 200.000 euros. 0% TAE. Grupo Escribano.
Llenamos de contenidos tu vuelo y tú decides disfrutarlos o soñarlos en asientos cama. Te damos acceso directo al pasillo y tú decides máxima privacidad y confort. Llevamos más alto nuestra clase business y tú decides volar con nosotros. O no. Pero un consejo. Decide llegar tan lejos como quieras en la nueva clase business. Air Europa. Tú decides.
És el meu cor malferit que demana acció.
Un amor sense barreres davant meu ha cobrat vida.
Ja aviam què passa, ja aviam què passa. No sé què passa, ni per què passa, però sempre em passa.
Pues nada, estamos aquí ya en este play red. Ahora se me había congelado aquí la imagen y por eso estaba aquí.
So sorry for that frozen image. Then we were just having a bit of a confusing moment there. But we are back with you live now in this half-time between Mallorca and Villarreal. We're 2-0 down at the moment.
Nos gusta remar, estamos preparados para remar.
Obviously, we are ready and willing to suffer and have to stick the oars in and paddle to survive in this match, because it is what it is. Of course, yeah. I mean, there is no other option really.
Estamos diciendo, intentar pues meter un gol, meterse en el partido y a ver qué pasa y por qué no.
Of course, we've just got to try and get into the match and try and score.
Si le presiona arriba, seguramente robaremos y un gol nos meterán en el partido y a esperar que ellos a las contras no nos hagan peligro como nos han hecho en la primera parte y ya está.
We hope not to get any dangerous moments from them like we had in the first half. Focus now on the rest of the match that we have ahead of us.
Ahora estaba leyendo aquí en el chat de YouTube, ¿no? La gente pues hay gente pues que está un poco hundido, un poco tocada, gente que dice que está triste y demás.
Just reading some of the comments on the live chat there are lots of people feeling kind of disappointed or slightly pessimistic now after the first half, but there are lots of messages of optimism as well, and people feeling still hopeful and hoping that luck is going to be on our side for the second half.
Tienen que ser de ganas y sobre todo de ambición por intentar conseguir la remontada.
Sí, han salido los jugadores del Real Mallorca, lo hacen en este momento los jugadores del Villarreal sin cambios, por cierto.
Yes, so the players are back on the pitch now. We will see if Luis Garcia Plaza is going to make any changes for the beginning of this second half. We'll be keeping our eye out for them. See, things are complicated, being 2-0 down, not helped, of course, at all by that own goal in the 11th minute by Franco Russo. Of course, then that counter-attack from Villarreal after our corner that ended up in the goal by Trigueros in the 34th minute. However, we've got 45 minutes ahead of us to try and turn that result around, and off we go. Second half is in play. Mallorca trying to play there, but the ball has already been stolen by Villarreal. Back to Mallorca defense now with Martin Valgen. Pass right to Maffeo. Looking for Leo Roman's support there from the goalkeeper. Amat controls there with the chest.
porque se había quedado un poquito cerrado el
And eventually it's going to go to a
del
throw-in.
Mallorca. La tiene Rodríguez. El Tigre en cortito para Bataglia. Está a la izquierda para Jaume Costa. Nuevo Bataglia. Entre tres futbolistas. Bien sale el Mallorca. Jugando hacia atrás. Saliendo de la presión. La tiene Leo Román.
Leo Román in possession for Mallorca.
Con Martin Valgen. Bueno, ¿qué tiene que hacer el Mallorca en la segunda parte? Lo has analizado un poquito en el descanso, pero...
So Manolo, I guess you've been talking to Esteban about what Mallorca need to do now in the second half. So just to go over that again.
Tenga la pelota, pues hacer posesiones largas y sobre todo cuando no la tenga intentar presionar arriba al Villarreal porque le gusta.
Of course, trying to pile the pressure on Villarreal when they are in possession, but try and especially gain some possession. That's one of the most important lines of goals now for this second half. And I think as if we do manage to get that goal to get us back into the match, it's going to completely change the dynamic of the match and give us a confidence boost we really desperately need right now. So yes, that is what Mallorca is trying to do in the second half. Maffeo in possession. Battaglia is on the right and passes to Martin Valgent. Back to Maffeo, back to Valgent. Moreno from Villarreal chasing Valgent there. Back to the goalkeeper, to Leo Roman. Galarreta and Battaglia in possession. Valgent and Maffeo in play. Mallorca have started well this second half. Russo on the left to Jaume Costa. Back to Russo. Up the top towards Abdon.
Aparece Take, ahí está el japonés poniendo velocidad, jugando con Rodríguez de primeras, Galarreta a la izquierda.
Take is there picking up the speed, passes to Galarreta. Jaume Costa there, pass to Rodriguez too. Tries to shoot there, but it was rebounded by Albiol. Goes back to Jaume Costa now. Back to Franco Russo. Passes to Galarreta, was trying to get through there, move through the gaps. Rebounded by Villarreal's defense, but it's something that is a very good sign for Mallorca for this second half. Yes, Villarreal is definitely not used to having to run after the ball. So it seems that Mallorca have come on with a different attitude and different kind of confidence now.
Tener posesiones largas como se está viendo y pisando el área contraria.
Ahora quería salir, vaya grito que pegó.
Calentando, ahí lo veis en imagen a Fernando Niño y a Antonio Sánchez, podéis verlo ahí calentando.
Yes, so you can see Fer Niño and Antonio Sanchez warming up there.
Ese centro que terminó en las manos de Leo Román, bueno, pues como nos comentaba Luisione,
shot from midfield there, which goes straight into Leo Roman's hands, no problem for him.
Estamos en la parte de, bueno, los pupitres de prensa arriba de todo el estadio. He escuchado a Luis García pegando un grito diciendo Pablo, porque no lo había podido controlar el lateral del Real Mallorca y eso propició la contra del Villarreal. Franco Russo en cortito para Bataglia y no se puede perder el balón ni mucho menos con el portero, con Leo Román. Román que juega para Russo.
Leo Roman in possession, passes to Russo.
La disputa alguien, piden la falta de Iborra sobre Rodríguez, dice que no el colegiado. Juega el Villarreal.
Mallorca players asking for a foul against Rodriguez there, but it's not whistled.
Se la lleva Mario Gaspar, balón a la derecha.
Gaspar in possession for Villarreal now. Jeremy is there in the mix. Valgent rejects there. What good work defending. But Parejo is in possession for Villarreal. Short pass to Moreno. Back to Pedraza. Back to Moreno. This could be a dangerous play for him. Luckily, that was a very poor kick then from him and poor shot at goal. So it's a gentle kick in straight into Leo Roman's hands.
mantener este resultado y, bueno, pues ir picando piedra hasta que llegue.
Sí, bueno, Villarreal también va a tener posesiones largas, como se ha visto en esta jugada, pero intentar que no te metan ese tercer gol y sobre todo nosotros intentar meter ese primer gol, que no metan el partido. ¿Va a ser complicado? Sí, pero bueno, hay que meter ese primer gol.
Obviously, we know it's going to be a complicated feat now for us in the second half.
Claro, porque el Mallorca va a dejar espacios. Pero bueno, todavía queda mucho tiempo, acaba de empezar el partido, la segunda parte sobre todo, y sobre todo que el Mallorca salió con otra mentalidad.
Cuidado ese balón que buscaba Mario Gaspar dentro del área, se le atascó un poquito el balón afortunadamente, se le enredó ahí entre las piernas y no pudo hacer el remate a puerta. Saque de banda para el Mallorca.
After some unfortunate mistakes there for Villarreal, it's going to be a throw-in for Mallorca.
Va a llamar a alguien, pero bueno, de momento no continúan ese calentamiento en la banda, como comentaba nuestro compañero. Y vamos a ver, Manolo, cuáles son las decisiones que toma. Lo que está claro, ¿no?, es que seguramente va a meter pólvora arriba.
Sí, intentará meter a Ferniño, intentará ver si jugamos con dos puntas, dos delanteros centros para intentar hacer un poquito más de daño, sobre todo a los balones largos. Pero bueno, ya veremos a ver Luis García Plaza que tiene en su cabeza para la segunda parte, porque bueno, este resultado no nos favorece nada, intentar meter más mordiente arriba.
Yes, obviously it's all about aggressiveness from us in the striking areas for the second half. As we, at the moment, the result is definitely not in our favour, and our main objective is to try and turn that around. Villarreal in possession. Long pass towards Jeremy. Franco Russo has the advantage, but he's not there in time. Amath is, though, but in the end, the ball goes to Mario Gaspar and back to Villarreal's goalkeeper, Rulli. Albiol and Pau in possession.
Insistir por este costado, la deja hacia atrás para Alberto Moreno, delante de Martín Vallen, que le sale al paso. Otro balón hacia atrás, otro balón para el central, para Pau Torres. Entrando ya en
Villarreal in possession with Pau Torres.
De momento la quería poner arriba mal. Le pegó Horrores, apareció Russo para jugar con Maffeo. El control delante de Moreno, el balón largo buscando a Don. De momento no le están encontrando. No llega tampoco.
Long pass towards Abdon, but neither him nor Kubo are there in time.
Banda para el Mallorca.
Ball could have gone to Moreno, but he did not know how to drive the ball then, so it's going to be a throw-in for Mallorca.
Bueno, pues ahí está también el almeriense, el de Berja, añadiéndose al calentamiento, a ver si tiene también minutos en esta segunda parte para aportar ideas al fútbol de su equipo. Las necesita el Mallorca. En día y el control orientado hacia atrás.
We just saw Salva Sevilla starting to warm up as well. No doubt one of the other options to see if he can bring a breath of fresh air into the team's dynamic today. Abdon there trying to read between the lines of the Villarreal players' ideas and intentions, and manages to get a throw-in. But the ball is rebounded by Villarreal's defence. Ball for Martin Valgent. Passes right towards Maffeo. To Dani Rodriguez. Back to Pablo Maffeo. Passes it to Amat. Amat did not get there in time, but it would have been offside anyway. But Manolo, this is the path to follow, right? Yes, they're equalising the possession now, which is a really good sign.
Hacer intentar que ver que el Villarreal no esté cómodo, sobre todo en esta segunda parte, que el Mallorca salió un poquito más arriba.
But it's all about not allowing Villarreal to be comfortable. Battaglia cuts off there. Pedraza kicks the ball, hits Pablo Maffeo, so it's going to be another throw-in, another free kick for Mallorca. Yes, so the double change is imminent. Ferniño and Antonio Sanchez.
y veremos a ver quiénes son los jugadores sustituidos cuando
Receiving some
jugarán
final
la
instructions
esquina
from
el
Pedro
Villarreal.
Rostoy there. We're waiting to see who it is that is going to be coming off in their place.
Sin consecuencias para la portería de Leo Román. Ahí está el saque de esquina de Parejo, muy cerrado. Remató como pudo Raúl Albiol. Ese balón que se pierde a la izquierda de la portería de Leo Román.
A rebound there by Albiol.
El Villarreal. Y ahora sí parece que va a llegar ese doble cambio mientras tienen que atender al jugador del Villarreal, Luis, porque se ha hecho daño.
Medics go on to attend to Luis Forti, who looks like he has been injured for Villarreal.
No sé si al saltar y al caer se ha hecho daño en la rodilla izquierda o la rodilla derecha. Ahora te confirmo. La rodilla
It seems
derecha
like as he jumped and then reached the ground, he's hurt his left knee.
No, en la rodilla izquierda parece, ¿eh?
Mala pinta esa caída.
Yes, it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look very good, that fall there.
Visiblemente dolorido. Y se produce ya
Yes, in fact, it's Raúl Albiol, the player that is injured, who looks visibly in pain. So Abdon Press is coming off in favor of Fernino, and Amat Indiaye is coming off, and Antonio Sanchez is on instead. So what do you think about this change here, Manolo? It's a kind of eye for an eye change.
Ha hecho un cambio de posición, ha quitado a Abdon Pras, ha metido Fernino y bueno,
well, it's a change of position there with the Abdon and Fer change. Hopefully Fer is going to be motivated today. Hopefully they'll be able to get on the attack a bit more.
A ver el japonés si puede poner un buen centrito. Se viene hacia el centro con pausa, contemple, jugando en cortito para Bataglia. Este a la derecha, la aparición de Pablo Maffeo, levanta la cabeza, prepara el centro, se la acomoda, pierna izquierda, ahí está, puede ser buena para Ferniño. La tuvo fuera.
Ferniño had an excellent opportunity there, shoot at goal, clearest opportunity Mallorca has had so far, and it was for Ferniño. Excellent shot there.
Con todo a favor, remató de cabeza, no me puedo creer, Manolo, que este balón no haya entrado.
A header there on the rebound, and we cannot believe that that ball did not go into the back of the net.
Ha rematado, pero no está acertado, porque si lo hubiera picado un poquito hubiera sido gol. Porque mira, lo tenía ahí, la verdad.
Yes, unfortunately that definitely could have been a goal there.
Pablo Maceo y Ferniño ha saltado, incluso no importaba ni saltar, solamente con poner la cabeza rematando, porque Rulli ya estaba en medio y a un lado flojito hubiera sido gol. Una lástima, porque este gol te metía en el partido.
It's a massive shame, of course, because a goal then could have put us straight back into the match. However, if we've done that now, and that was Ferniño's first touch on the ball, he can definitely do it again.
Luis Sebane se lamenta a Ferniño todavía esta oportunidad.
Así es, se lamenta a Ferniño y se lamentaba también todo el banquillo, que absolutamente todos los miembros del banquillo.
Yes, absolutely distraught. Everybody from the bench there, everybody stood up believing that it was definitely going to be going in, but nobody expected it to just go out eventually.
Hay que seguir insistiendo. Jugando Bataglia, ese balón a la derecha para Martin Valgen. Franco Russo hacia atrás. Y a ver, también estamos en el minuto casi 60 de partido, Manolo. Si llega alguna oportunidad más como la que ha tenido Ferniño, quizá el Villarreal empiece pues a pensar, ¿no? Bueno, pues cuidado con el Mallorca, dé un pasito atrás, nos dé un poquito más el balón, y ahí es cuando podamos quizá hacer un poquito más de daño, ¿no?
Sí, y sobre todo que le entran las dudas el Villarreal, no sabe si ir a apretar arriba o quedarse atrás.
Yes, hopefully now we're going to start creating some distractions as well for Villarreal, and they'll be slightly more on edge without not expecting where we're going to go on the pitch or what we're going to do, and creating doubts in their heads can only be a positive thing for us.
Pero quieras que no, pues el Mallorca iría más arriba todavía y esperar ahí, intentar meter ese primer gol, que el Mallorca ha tenido esa ocasión muy clara, y seguir, tiene que seguir el Mallorca, no le queda otra.
Lástima que le cayó esa falta ahí a Bataglia, porque había recuperado ese balón el futbolista argentino con la ayuda de Antonio Sánchez, que ha salido también evidentemente motivado a este
Antonio Sanchez has also come out extremely excited and motivated, of course, eager to try and make a difference on the pitch. Antonio Sanchez is putting the pressure on, but Albiol is in possession, who passes back to the goalkeeper, Rulli. Pau Torres in possession. Kubo putting the pressure on. Martin Valgent does well there. Mallorca in possession, pass to Pablo Maffeo. Back to Martin Valgent, careful with the speed from Moreno there from Villarreal. Russo in possession. He's looking who to pass the ball to. In the end, it's Battaglia who passes it to Antonio Sanchez. Passes to Battaglia, passes to Kubo. Antonio Sanchez takes the ball with him. Take has the ball in the goal-scoring area. Take recovers. He was looking for that straight shot there with the outside part of his leg, but eventually ends up in Rulli's, the goalkeeper's, hands. So nothing particularly heart-stopping there from in the action, but at least there was some action. Yes, anything that makes the Villarreal players uneasy for a minute and makes them run and chase after the ball is good news for us, of course.
62 de partido, no ha hecho ningún cambio de momento el Villarreal, que evidentemente tiene este resultado a favor y que tiene muchas bajas de momento, apostando por los mismos Unai Emery. Ese balón de Iborra que le dejaba pasar para Moy Gómez, recupera el Mallorca, Galarreta, buen balón para Take, ahí está, llegando a la frontal del área.
Take is in possession. It looks like it's going to be a foul, but the referee says no. Definitely looks like it should have been foul to me. Take cannot believe it. Also, it was obviously going to be an extremely valuable foul for him then. Manolo, I'm not sure if you saw that, but it definitely looked like a foul to me. I'm just waiting for the foul to be, well, the play to be played back on the screen now. Clear misunderstanding there, or misconception, because Take clearly thought it was a foul, whereas the referee was having no doubts about it. Villarreal is on the attack now. Martin Valgent rejects and rebounds. Passes to Maffeo, but back to Villarreal now. 3/4 of the way up the pitch. Iborra is there. Pass back to Albiol. Gaspar looking for Jeremy. Definitely was a foul there, but the referee does not seem to be whistling it. But there it goes, yes. Jeremy definitely grabbed Franco Russo there and pulled him back. Very clear way as well. So the ball goes to Mallorca.
Y ahora yo aquí en monitor que tengo también la acción repetida de...
Sí, es falta.
De Take Kubo, ¿eh?
Es falta porque le empuja, ¿no?
Que le empuja, ¿eh?
No es la típica carga que se puede hacer. Pedraza le empuja. Es que es clarísima.
Evidentemente no es ni de tarjeta ni mucho menos.
No,
una carga clara para derribarle.
Claro, al borde del área para no seguir la jugada, pero el árbitro tiene que... Y sobre todo el línea que lo tiene al lado.
Lástima ese balón que no llegó a Jaume Acosta, y cuidado ahora la contra del...
Galarreta there in position, but unfortunately his pass did not reach Jaume Acosta. Villarreal is on the counter-attack now. Martin Valgent says that he was shoved there by one of the Villarreal players, but it's going to be a throw-in.
Y en cualquier caso, Luis, le van a
atender las asistencias del Villarreal, así es, están ya las asistencias con él, intentando ver a ver qué le pasa y si puede continuar. Está bien cerquita también el árbitro Ortiz Arias, ahora pasa por su lado Take Kubo y le reclama esa acción anterior.
Take Kubo going up to the referee to ask him about that lack of a whistle for the previous foul. The referee is hearing none of it.
Es una pena, porque hubiera sido una oportunidad clara
Yes, it's a definite shame that that foul was not whistled, because that would have been a direct shot at goal for the Japanese player.
Que va a tener un saque de esquina preparado ya también Dani Parejo para efectuarlo. Con el Mallorca defendiendo absolutamente con todo. Con uñas y dientes para intentar llegar vivo a la recta final de
Good opportunity now for Villarreal, and Mallorca defends with everything they've got. Parejo is there. Maybe he's going to play with Trigueros. Iborra looking for the rebound there. Defended by Martin Valgent, and it's going to be a corner.
Yo creo que debe ser ya el noveno. Efectivamente, tenemos ahí los...
Sí, noveno saque de esquina a favor de
Los
Villarreal.
datos, el noveno ya.
Por 3 del Mallorca.
Sí, señor, ahí está preparado de nuevo Parejo.
Y vuelve Jeremy al
Ahora sí
terreno de juego.
Sí, vuelve por tanto con 11 el Villarreal. Ahí está Moy Gómez a la derecha para Parejo de primeras. Han encontrado bien ahí el agujero. Trigueros que la quiere poner. Afortunadamente le pegó muy mal. Directamente a saque de puerta.
Eventually, after that corner, nothing much came of it, so it's going to go to the goalkeeper. We mustn't forget that we've got Salva Sevilla and Kangin Lee warming up on the sidelines now.
No va más Jeremy, parece el jugador del Villarreal que se vuelve a tirar sobre el terreno de juego.
Villarreal player Jeremy seems to be on the ground once again. It seems like he's unable to finish the
Y
match.
ahora es Pedro Rostoy el que llama a Salva Sevilla. Parece que será el siguiente cambio en las filas del conjunto de
So
Luis
Pedro
García.
Rostoy, meanwhile, calls Salva Sevilla over, who seems to be the next addition to the playing field.
Que van a ir llegando. No puede seguir el jugador de el Villarreal.
So yes, it's confirmed the Villarreal player can definitely not continue.
Así es, se produce el primer cambio. Se produce el primer cambio en las filas del Villarreal. Se retira lesionado Jeremy. Ingresará en
So yes, Jeremy retires from the playing field, clearly injured today, and Jackson comes on in his place.
Obligado por esa lesión del jugador del submarino amarillo, jugando ya pero el Real Mallorca. Preparado Salva y Kangin Lee para entrar en esta segunda parte también.
So Salva Sevilla and Kangin Lee are ready to come on. The third and fourth changes for Luis Garcia Plaza. Meanwhile, on the pitch, Take Kubo awaiting the ball there, but Villarreal intercepts the ball.
No llega Jackson en su primer intento de aparición. Se la queda Leo Roman.
Leo Roman in possession for Mallorca. Passes to Franco Russo.
Con Galarreta quería hacerlo de primeras. Sí, yo creo que tocó con la mano, Iborra, y efectivamente lo vio el colegiado, o le habrá advertido también.
Iborra, handball there from him. The referee saw that clearly and whistled straight away.
En el momento en el que Luis, yo creo que no van a demorar más, llega el doble cambio.
And yes, without further ado, here comes the second double change of the match.
Entre silbidos y aplausos, Take Fusa Kubo también lo hace. Ruiz de Galarreta ingresan en su lugar Kangin Lee y Salva Sevilla.
So Take Kubo and Galarreta come off, and in their place go Salva Sevilla and Kangin Lee. So some support there and some admiration shown from the stands for Take Kubo, who, as I said before, spent half a season in Villarreal.
El control orientado, no hay falta, dice el colegiado sobre Ferniño.
No foul there against Ferniño, says the referee. But Moreno takes the ball for Villarreal.
Bueno, pues no parece Manolo, el colegiado muy...
Who collides with Martin Valgent, and this time they do whistle the foul. So it seems to be the referee is not on our side today. Yes, I'm just waiting to see Ferniño's episode played back now, because Ferniño put his hand up straight away asking for the foul there.
Le pisa. Es que le pisa. Es que es increíble. Yo no sé cómo el árbitro, aparte que no lo pueda ver, no sé si en línea tampoco no es una posición, pero bueno, es lo que tú dices, Dani. Es que la las faltas a favor del Mallorca, sobre todo al borde del área, ninguna de las dos ha tocado.
En caso de duda,
sí,
balón para el Villarreal.
Sí, tampoco el árbitro no está teniendo un arbitraje muy complicado, la verdad. Mucho menos. O sea, solo ha tenido una tarjeta amarilla y tampoco es un arbitraje. Pero bueno, que esas jugadas son muy claras. O sea, tanto...
Y no está influyendo en el resultado.
Yes, however, we're having some extremely good plays at the moment, but they don't seem to be influencing the outcome of the match, and that is what we need to start achieving now. But the foul against Fernandinho now and the foul against Taque, those are things that need to be whistled by the referee because we need all the help we can get.
Bueno, afortunadamente recupera el Mallorca. La tiene Jaume Costa en esta parte izquierda. En cortito para Dani Rodríguez. Pegado en la banda. Ahora sí
Short pass to Dani Rodríguez, Mallorca in possession.
Llegó Bataglia, sí. Franco Russo. 71 de partido, hay que marcar un golito para meternos.
71st minute of the match. Now we need to score. Jaume Costa, who passes to Fernandinho. Advantage to Albiol from Villarreal.
Y envía ese balón de nuevo lejos de su portería Pau Torres.
And sends the ball back down the pitch away from the goal to Pau Torres.
Ya digo, ahora había otra posible falta sobre Antonio Sánchez, no la pitó el colegiado y ahora
there was another possible foul there against Antonio Sanchez, which was also not whistled by the referee. But now we're witnessing some conversations, and it looks like there's going to be a warning given to Luis Garcia Plaza.
Y ahora es el árbitro el que está advirtiendo a Luis García que paren con las protestas o empezará a sacar cartulinas, me imagino.
Yes, so the referee is telling Luis Garcia to calm down with the protesting against the referee decisions on behalf of his players.
Además, ya te digo, que es un entrenador al que no se le permite nada.
Yes, I have to say the linesmen and the referees are extremely unforgiving with Luis Garcia Plaza, we've got to say. But he didn't particularly, they're not protesting that much. I mean, they're protesting clear fouls, so it's nothing, it's nothing out of this world.
Hay que seguir remando.
Efectivamente, jugando el Mallorca. Vamos a ver. Ahí está Bataglia. En cortito para Jaume Costa, atrás.
Mallorca in possession. Jaume Costa passes back to Franco Russo.
La pedía, pero no lo vio claro. Martin Valgent, el central, que se anima en ataque. Fernandinho, el balón para Kangin.
Martin Valgent, who is eager to participate in the attack. Kangin Lee passes to Fernandinho.
Providencial aquí, quería decir. Pedraza, porque ya la buscaba Fernandinho. Qué pena. Vuelve el Mallorca, vuelve a la carga. Vuelve Fernandinho, piquito del área.
Pedraza, very good there for Villarreal, which is a shame because Fernandinho was ready to intercept that ball. Kangin Lee back in possession.
El coreano, buscando posición de tiro, no lo encontró. Habilitó a la derecha para Pablo Manfeo. Prepara la pierna y esto va a ser córner. Viene el Mallorca en esta jugada.
And it is going to be a corner for Villarreal.
Sí, el Mallorca se merece el gol.
It's going to be a corner for Mallorca.
Por posesión, porque está pisando más el área, porque bueno, y ha tenido ocasiones claras.
Yes, apart from the fact that they are creating the opportunities, they really do deserve the goal now with all this work they're putting in.
Vamos a ver si llega ahí. Ese centro envenenado buscaba el gol directo.
Yes, it seems to be poison today with those direct shots. Kangin Lee had an excellent shot there, but it was just rebounded.
Momento de desconcertación aquí para el Villarreal. Vuelve Kangin a la carga. Volvió a insistir con el balón muy cerrado.
Kangin is there insisting again.
Rechazó a saque de esquina de nuevo.
And it's back to another corner for Mallorca. 6-1 of the match for Mallorca.
La última bala del míster. Meter a la Pichichi el equipo también en Copa. Ahí está Kangin Lee. Buscaba de nuevo.
Kangin Lee in the mix there once again.
Que rechazó la disputa. Pablo Mafeo se la quita de encima ahora. Trigueros. Y tiene que salir Leo Román para jugar con
Trigueros steals the ball and moves away with it.
Bataglia tocando para Jaume Costa. Ese balón queda cortito. Cuidado. No le quedó otro remedio a Costa que enviar el pelotazo directamente a los dominios de Gerardo Rulli.
There was no other option for Villarreal there than to pass all the way back to their goalkeeper, Rulli. Yeah, so I guess now, Manolo, it's just about the whole thing is about being as aggressive as possible and trying to battle for the last 15 minutes.
El rechace ahí con problemas ahora de Leo Román con la rodilla, la falta a favor del Mallorca sobre Bataglia.
A bit of a rebound there. Foul by Leo Román, who seems to have hurt his knee, but he seems to be okay. There was a foul against Bataglia too. Last change of the match. Dani Rodriguez, captain for today, comes off, and Ángel Rodriguez comes on in his place.
Tenemos miedo al Villarreal en la recta final del encuentro. Ese balón para Canguilí, sale Rulli valiente también y rechaza la cabeza ahora con todo de Franco Russo y le cayó el fuera de juego. Había posición incorrecta de Canguilí, así que va a ser balón en cualquier caso para el Villarreal. 14 de juego para el final, Manolo. Hay que meter un gol como sea.
Sí, hay que meter un gol como sea.
So 14 minutes left. We need to score whatever it takes.
2-1 que no el 3-0. Pero bueno, en el mundo del fútbol a veces pasan cosas que no. Me gustaría ver la repetición. No se ve tan claro que sea fuera de juego, O sea,
bueno, pero ya digo, en caso de duda mejor.
Sí, no, ha levantado enseguida, o sea, no. Pero así como le han dado la repetición, habría que tirar líneas y no han dejado ni terminar la jugada. Pero es que no lo entiendo, porque en caso de duda, lo que tiene que hacer en línea es dejar terminar la jugada y después que pase lo que pase. Para eso está el VAR.
Se la lleva Mario Gaspar.
However, of course, when there are doubts about excellent save there by Leo Román. Very good reflexes there. It's a massive shame that Salva Sevilla lost the ball on the rebound.
Alberto Moreno, en cortito nuevo para Pedraza. Parejo con Moreno. Jugando bien el Villarreal ahora.
Iborra in possession for Villarreal. Passes to Trigueros. Pass to the right to Gomez.
Mario Gaspar, el capitán que levanta la cabeza. Juega en cortito.
Gaspar in possession now.
A ver si recupera el balón el Mallorca. Salva Sevilla que pone la pierna. Llega Bataglia. El control que se le escapa. Iborra recupera. Juega con Alberto Moreno que le pega. Vaya mano.
Moreno shoots. And another excellent save there with the hand of Leo Román to send it to a corner. So impressive moves by Leo Román.
Para el final la volvió a tener el conjunto de Emery. El disparo de Alberto Moreno que se fue envenenando, ya digo, iba centrado, pero ese balón iba o al larguero o adentro. La manopla perfecta de Leo Román para enviar a córner. Vamos a contarlo porque está preparado Parejo. Ahí está, pierna derecha, buscando el área pequeña. Rechazó la defensa al Mallorca. El balón que vuelve a entrar dentro del área. El balón que le cae a Alberto
Ball is back in the goal scoring area. Moreno has the ball. Ángel helps on the defense there.
El partido ya está roto, evidentemente. El centro del Villarreal rechaza.
The game is all broken up, of course, by now. Iborra puts his foot in there. It's going to be a foul once again. Foul in Mallorca's favor now.
Manolo Moya, nuestro comentarista en el día de hoy, que el partido está roto. Quedan 11 minutos más el tiempo añadido al Mallorca, que busca un gol a la desesperada para meterse en el encuentro. El Villarreal que también está teniendo las suyas.
Sí, el Villarreal a la contra con espacio va a tener ocasiones, pero el Mallorca tiene que hacer este partido, el partido abierto de ida y vuelta, intentar meter un gol y bueno, ahora mismo el Villarreal ha tenido dos ocasiones claras, pero con espacios es lo lógico. El Mallorca está dejando espacios, tiene que ir arriba para intentar meter ese gol que te meta en el partido.
Yes, unfortunately now Mallorca has started to leave some gaps in the game, and that is something they cannot afford to do, of course.
Pitó la falta del colegiado Luis.
Yes, that was a clear foul there.
En un jugador del Mallorca, segunda del partido, en este caso la vez Franco Russo, el central argentino del Mallorca.
So that is going to be a yellow card for Franco Russo there. First one for Mallorca, second one of the match. There was no other option there though, so even though he did drag on the Villarreal player's shirt. It was definitely a tactical foul there.
18 a la espalda, Alberto Moreno. Para ponerla con su pierna izquierda. Solo Ángel queda en la mini barrera defensiva. Oportunidad para el Villarreal. Esta falta lateral. Ahora pide un poquito de tranquilidad el colegiado porque ahí...
The referee asking for some peace and quiet because everything is happening on the pitch.
Tiene toda la pinta de que va a ser así.
Es muy peligrosa esta falta.
Bueno, pues cuidado, vamos a ver. Ahí está preparado Alberto Moreno. Ahí está precisamente buscando ese balón cerradito. Rechazó la defensa. El balón que queda muerto, sí. Consiguió rechazar la defensa del Mallorca. Será...
Luckily, Mallorca's defense manages to rebound now, and it's going to be a throw-in for Villarreal, who of course have now no rush in the world to take this, because there is 9 minutes left of this match, plus whatever extra time is added.
Pondrá de banda Pedraza, la pide Trigueros, ya controla el jugador del Villarreal, recupera pero bien
Pedraza and Trigueros in possession. Foul against Galarreta, tactical foul there, whistled by the referee. Yes, actually, that's Luis there telling us that it's not Galarreta because he's on the bench. So the tactical foul was against Battaglia. So thanks for that. Danny says that maybe it's the cold that's going to his head now and his ideas are getting frozen.
La gente en casa se habrá vuelto loca diciendo, pero Dios mío, ¿qué está pasando aquí? La recupera el Mallorca, la recupera bien ahora Pablo Maffeo.
Mallorca recovers the ball. Pablo Maffeo in possession. Passes to Salva Sevilla. Saved by Rulli. And the last shot by Antonio Sanchez there. What a pass from Salva Sevilla.
Yo lo decía, entró el delantero del Real Mallorca. Ferniño y la tuvo. Bueno, se fuera de juego, se fuera de juego, no levanta la bandera, sí. Ahora sí que la levantó. Es balón para el Mallorca.
It was offside there, clear offside. We were just waiting for the linesman to bring up the flag, so that's going to be the ball back to Mallorca.
Pero qué lástima estas dos oportunidades que se nos han escapado, Manolo.
Sí, y sobre todo el rechace que le ha venido Antonio Sánchez, que no ha podido, porque el pase le ha metido Salva Sevilla Ángel y Rulli ha estado bien, y el rechace le ha caído en mala posición a Antonio Sánchez. Pero dos ocasiones muy claras que hemos tenido, que tanto las dos han podido ser gol, tranquilamente.
Esta la salvó muy bien Gerardo Rulli, que aguantó como un titán el mano a mano con Ángel Rodríguez. Qué pena, porque estas dos han sido clarísimas. Ellos han marcado
It was an excellent save from Rulli, we must admit, though, because he was there battling one-on-one against Antonio Sanchez.
Nos haya permitido tener más opciones.
Being very unlucky with those shots at goal up until now.
Jugando el Villarreal, jugando aquí Trigueros, cae al suelo.
Trigueros in possession, who goes down for Villarreal. Canginli, very good there, defending against Moreno. Pedraza steals the ball from Maffeo. Short pass to Parejo, playing with Moreno. Obviously, crowd starting to applaud now as
porque solo faltaría que nos pitaran penalti. Ya juega el Mallorca. Se queda sobre el césped del delantero del Villarreal.
Foul there in the goal-scoring area, but it was not whistled by the referee, and thank goodness for that. Otherwise, that would have been a penalty against Mallorca. But Mallorca is on the counter-attack now. Sevilla in possession. Rulli once again saves there with the fists.
Atención que ha parado. Ojo que puede pitar penalti,
Claro, el VAR.
Ha parado el partido.
Sí, el VAR. Si es que el VAR ha pitado fuera de juego y el VAR se lo va a decir.
Vale. Ha parado el partido por el fuera de juego.
So the match has been stopped because of the offside there.
Es penalti.
And it could still be a penalty because they're going to have a look on VAR.
Nada. Nada.
El colegiado que lo va a mirar en cualquier caso con sus propios ojos.
Nada. Es increíble.
Hemos visto aquí en un monitor la acción repetida y
So I can't believe it.
De contacto, pero
It does look like there's a bit of contact there, which is, I mean, in our opinion, of course, extremely light contact. And there's going to be a yellow card for Emery for protesting for Villarreal's manager. And it's going to be a penalty for Villarreal. So they now have the opportunity of making it 3-0. So that's, and there's a yellow card for Franco Russo, which means that's a red card for him, so he is off.
Tras revisar el VAR, segunda cartulina para Franco Russo y roja, expulsado el jugador argentino.
Muy bien.
So that is a red card, which means expulsion for the Argentinian. So none of us can believe it this here. Extremely controversial and problematic end to the match today.
El lanzamiento desde los 11 metros. Minuto 86 de encuentro. Leo Román bajo palos. Vamos a ver si lo puede parar el portero del Real Mallorca. Moviéndose de un lado.
Leo Román is in goal.
Todo un especialista como es Dani Parejo, que no se suele poner nervioso. Vamos a ver con el 5.
Parejo is going to take the penalty.
Parejo le va a pegar el golpeo pierna derecha y el gol.
And he scores.
Marcó Dani Parejo. Se lanzó bien Leo Román, pero no pudo llegar a ese balón. Bien tirado el penalti.
Leo Román went in the right direction, but he did not manage to be able to get to that ball there with his hands. Obviously, jubilation here in the stadium. All the fans know that the victory is in sight for them. So obviously, we have lost one of our players as well in the form of Franco Russo. He is not going to be able to play the next match now.
Un penalti más que dudoso y el árbitro, pues bueno, le ha llamado el colegiado del VAR, Iglesias, y le ha dicho, pues ves a verlo, y una vez que va a verlo al VAR, pues es que es un contacto un poco.
So once again, VAR strikes again.
Sí, ya no llegaba el balón. No, es que ha controlado, ha perdido el control y Franco Russo se ha tirado, pero no con la intención de darle, o sea que bueno.
Watching it back, we can see that Jackson was miles away from the ball anyway. He wasn't going to score with that ball, but Franco Russo threw himself in front to cut him off. And yes, there was a little bit of contact, but it was definitely not his intention to create any damage. But there we go. The penalty has been whistled. So in the end, that was the final death sentence for Mallorca for this match, and we finished the match with one man down.
Sí, hemos tenido dos
alguna que tuvimos en la primera y bueno, y analizar un poquito los goles, ¿no? Uno de penalti, el gol en prueba de portería y bueno, y el otro gol pues
en una contra,
mérito, ¿no? A la contra.
En una contra.
Es decir que todo hoy en contra, ¿no?
Sí, sí,
so it seems that nothing was going in our favour today, unfortunately, with unlucky shots towards goal, the own goal, of course, then the refereeing decisions as well, and now this penalty thanks to the VAR. Really, really bad luck for the team today. However, so many fouls against our players today that were not whistled.
En fin, jugando el Villarreal a minuto 89 prácticamente de partido.
So nearly 89th minute now of the match. Villarreal in possession. Looking at the result on the scoreboard and judging by the refereeing decisions, I think we can consider ourselves satisfied if we maintain in this 3-0 score now.
Será para perder tiempo.
Bueno, tampoco lo necesita mucho.
Por eso, minuto 90 no tiene Batalla, se ha puesto de central y bueno, tampoco no tiene. A ver cuánto alarga el árbitro, que tampoco no creo que alargue mucho.
Le pegará Trigueros y en dos tiempos atrapa ahora.
Trigueros is going to take the free kick, but luckily Leo Román is there to save that.
Este próximo fin de semana que no hay liga, la próxima jornada si se confirma, ¿no? Las dos tarjetas para para el central del Mallorca, para Franco Rosso, que bueno, se van a confirmar evidentemente. Tendrá que jugar Sedlar. Ya veremos, ¿no? Si llega o no Rayo, pero bueno, un poquito justo, evidentemente, y mucho menos para ser titular.
Due to that expulsion from the pitch for Franco Russo, that means that probably Sedlar will take his place in the next league match. Or it could be Rayo, but we don't expect him to be back on form that quickly. Villarreal in possession. Set passes to Parejo. Iborra and Gaspar in possession. Gomez passes into the center. Battaglia gets in there with a header and into Leo Roman's hands.
Como siempre, estamos ya en el tiempo añadido, vamos a vivir el postpartido, escuchar la rueda de prensa de nuestro entrenador de Luis García Plaza y también pues cómo valoran, ¿no?, esta derrota a los protagonistas del Real Mallorca, siempre dando la cara en la victoria y en la derrota. Este postpartido que conducirá como siempre Esteban Ramón con Manolo Moya, nuestro comentarista, exjugador del Real Mallorca en el día de hoy. Ferniño que pone la cabeza buscando aquí a Kangin Lee. Vamos a ver Kangin si se la puede llevar, la ventaja para Pau. Presiona Maffeo, se le lleva a Maffeo a ver si puede marcar.
Kangin Lee there, and Maffeo breaks away with the ball.
La bicicleta le pegará a Maffeo y ese balón que toca en el palo y se va fuera.
And the ball hits the post and goes out. So it really isn't our day today, that is for sure.
Ese balón que tocó en el palo y se marchó fuera. Llegan los últimos cambios en el Villarreal.
And the last changes for Villarreal now, making the most of these last couple of minutes. Yes, Unai is going to make 2 more changes now in extra time. So Parejo is going to come off.
Con el número 38, Carlo Adriano, y con el número 17, Dani Raba.
And Raba and Adriano are going to come on in their place.
Dos cambios, sí, yo creo que es el 28. Efectivamente, lo había visto bien Luis. Es Nikita quien ha entrado.
Sí, el 28, Nikita.
Sí. Ahí está precisamente el jugador del Villarreal en esa primera aparición, dejándola a la derecha para Dani Raba, con Iborra. Iborra para Mario Gaspar.
Raba and Iborra in play, pass to Gaspar. Obviously, every Mallorca fan now just wishing for the end of the match and try and forget the events today in the stadium. Angel battling for the ball with Gaspar there, but in the end it ends up with a throw-in for Villarreal, coming up to the 93rd minute now. Trigueros and Jackson in play.
Acción del tercer gol provocando ese penalti. Trigueros que la deja para
Jackson there, the enabler of the third goal, as he was the person who provoked that penalty. Iborra is looking for somebody to pass the ball to.
Con Iborra de nuevo, a la derecha para Nikita. Aparece por aquí, prepara el centro, rechaza Battaglia, la baja. Y el jugador del Villarreal, la baja Iborra. De nuevo jugando para Albiol. De nuevo con Nikita, que está fresco, evidentemente, que tiene ganas. Encarando aquí a Ferniño. La bicicleta.
Raba, of course, extremely fresh on the pitch now.
El balón para Alberto Moreno.
Passes back to Moreno. Playing with Trigueros. They're nearing the goal-scoring area now. Kangin Lee is there. Tries to cut them off. Kangin Lee in possession, trying to arm a counter-attack. Passes to Antonio Sanchez. Angel Rodriguez is asking for the ball at the top. Moreno leaps forward, steals the ball, so Villarreal recover possession.
Ahí está Raúl Albiol. Balón a la izquierda para Pau Torres. De momento no mira su reloj el colegiado. El balón de Trigueros buscando a Alberto Moreno. Se cruzó y en Maffeo. Y se quiere marchar en velocidad el lateral del Mallorca. Cuidado ahí a punto de perder. Se le cruzó Iborra. Recupera el Villarreal dentro del área. Cuidado que quiere marcar el cuarto. Ahí está el balón que le cae a Alberto Moreno.
So Villarreal is on the attack looking for the 4th goal.
En el cuerpo de un defensor del Mallorca había
Not only was it offside, but there was a shot there which impacted with the Mallorca players' side body, but that is it. The referee whistles signaling the end of the match. Obviously, everybody in the Mallorca team and behind the scenes cannot wait to get off the pitch today. Nothing went in our favor today. Obviously, we cannot say that we lost because of refereeing decisions, but they definitely did not help us whatsoever with the little details that made us have these issues towards the end of the match, especially. So yes, the match ends up here with a 3-0 defeat for Mallorca today. Well, thank you very much, Danny, for being with us today, and safe journey back. Very disappointing result for the team. I was obviously having a look at Twitter right now. It's difficult to explain the feeling of the situation. It's like the team has those opportunities, has the chances, and that things just don't want to work out for them.
Que ha tenido más efectividad de cara al área y ya está. O sea, el Mallorca ha tenido 3 oportunidades muy claras, no las ha metido, y el Villarreal prácticamente no ha tenido tantas ocasiones claras como ha tenido el Mallorca.
Yes, Villarreal definitely didn't have nearly as many chances as Mallorca, but we've lost 3-0 to them.
Una ocasión que te puede hacer el Villarreal y te mete una jugada y el gol. Y el tercero es un penalti que es un penalti light que le ha pitado.
However, the third goal was a light penalty. The first goal was an accident and it could happen to anybody. And the second one wasn't a particularly impressive goal at all.
Del 2-1 hemos pasado al 3-0, pero esto es lo que tiene el fútbol profesional, que si tú tienes ocasiones y perdonas, pues al fin y al cabo pues pierde los partidos, que es lo que le ha pasado al Real Club Deportivo Mallorca hoy.
Ahora enseguida ya tendremos protagonistas, la Super Flash, también la zona Flash después de las entrevistas, también escucharemos a Luis Garcia.
So we will be hearing from some of the players in the Super Flash interview area, as well as Luis Garcia's press conference later, as per usual. I'm very eager to hear what he has to say today, because he usually maintains his message that we have to keep going onwards and upwards and remain optimistic, and that is football. But we'll see what he has to say today after this match.
De una falta tuya peligrosa, el tercero de un penalti que el VAR pues está muy meticuloso. Al final son 3 goles que luego los analizas individualmente y te quedas con esa sensación de que podría haber sido totalmente diferente, porque el equipo en la segunda parte, es verdad, lo habíamos comentado, Manolo, ha cambiado y mucho.
Sí, hemos tenido 2 ocasiones muy claras. El 2-1 estaba más cerca el 2-1 que no el 3-0.
So yes, we definitely had some very clear opportunities there.
Y ha venido una jugada al final y el penalti es más que dudoso, lo ha pitado, y encima, aparte del penalti, que te quedas sin un jugador de cara al próximo jornada, que bueno, Fran Russo le han sacado 2 amarillas.
Of course, awful result to end up with, especially because of the expulsion of Franco Russo for the next match, which is going to cost us greatly.
Pero con un resultado muy abultado, que tampoco el Villarreal no ha sido un equipo que te ha pasado por encima futbolísticamente como se podía esperar.
But we definitely weren't on a quality level. Villarreal were not that much better than us. They could have been, because if we look at the team on paper, they have all the potential to do so. But it wasn't. It was all because of accidents, unfortunate decisions, and bad luck on our behalf.
Y el tercero pues ha sido un penalti más que dudoso, pero bueno, las sensaciones de fútbol por fútbol no nos ha avasallado, y el resultado es el que es, y hay que seguir trabajando, y no nos queda otra que pensar en el próximo partido que jugamos en casa, me parece que es contra el Cádiz. Y bueno, y es un partido.
So we've got to focus as well on the next league match, which, if I'm not wrong, is against Cadiz at home, who are having a good last couple of matches actually, and they've got a new coach as well. But we've got to focus on that one, and we can't allow another defeat to happen.
Mejores sensaciones, y sobre todo, bueno, sensaciones han sido buenas. Lo que pasa que intentar por las ocasiones que tengamos meterlas, porque al fin y al cabo es lo que te da al final los puntos.
Pues mira, Manolo, ya tenemos a Luis Seoane con Rodrigo Bataglia. Dale, Luis.
So we're going to go to our colleague Luis, who is with Bataglia now for
Así es,
us.
estamos ya como protagonista con Rodrigo Bataglia. Bueno, Rodrigo, no ha podido ser, imagino que decepción, ¿no? Con el
So it wasn't meant to be today.
se venía a buscar aquí al Estadio de la Cerámica.
Not what you were hoping for today.
Buenas tardes. La verdad que bastante triste, enojado por cómo se dio el partido, por el
Well,
resultado.
quite sad, quite annoyed at the result and at the match itself.
No nos alcanza con esto y bueno, nada, hay que seguir trabajando, esto es largo.
We've got to keep working.
Que es el objetivo. Pero bueno,
We're still outside the relegation zone, but we know that we need to improve. So unlucky own goal by Franco Russo kind of set the tone for the match because it happened so early on. But Mallorca had many chances of scoring. Yeah, when something like that happens, it destabilizes you a little bit. But we've got to put ourselves back together now. I really trust the boys with my life. So on a personal level, you had that collision in the pre-match training session. No, I'm fine. I opened my eyebrow up, so they had to stay put, but I'm doing okay.
2 semanas para preparar ese partido. Bueno, primero vendrá la Copa del Rey, esos cuartos de final en Vallecas.
So, King's Cup match is the next match, 2nd of February, and then no league match next weekend. So then you'll have to start preparing the next match, which is against Cadiz. Yes, it'll be a high octave week that we'll have coming up. Now we've got a week, thankfully, to work on what we need to work on. And then we can work on the match against Cadiz, which is, it's going to be extremely important.
El encuentro jugando de central tras la expulsión de Franco Russo. Enseguida más protagonistas en zona flash.
Yes, so we will be talking to some more players very soon. Yes, so message there from Bataglia, which is something that we can take away from this. I trust the boys with my life, is what he said. I guess that's what we all need to do right now. They're not going through their best moment on a results point from a results point of view. But they are still battling to get those chances, and that's what we've got to focus on. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to get nervous and to lose focus. Like I said, any league match in First Division, it's equally easy to win than to lose if my two you're up against. And next time, I'm sure the result is going to be different. It's going to be difficult, of course. There's still the whole second leg of the league ahead of them. But they are facing up to the rivals, and we've just got to keep working hard and fight to remain where we are in the league board.
Desde que ha empezado la temporada de la Liga en estas 22 jornadas, en Mallorca en este caso 21 por ese partido de plaza contra la Real, no ha estado en zona de descenso. Es un poco también pues.
Well, it is important to point out that in the whole of the league that we've experienced up until now, it is quite remarkable to see that Mallorca have not been in the relegation zone yet.
No sé cómo lo ves, Manolo, este parón, ¿no? que viene ahora. Esta semanita de descanso, imagino que también a nivel mente, a nivel de preparar esos cuartos de final, de preparar esa final.
So obviously this rest week now from the league next weekend is also going to be very important for the team from a mentality point of view and a psychological point of view. Yes, after a nasty defeat like this one. It is difficult, but that's what football is all about at the end of the day.
bueno, hay que seguir confiando en este grupo.
So we've just got to trust the players, trust the process, and trust Luis Garcia Plaza too. However, we've just come back into First Division and we're not in the relegation zone, so we need to value that too. We've got to be humble about it, we've got to be eager about everything. We've got to also appreciate the fact that in the King's Cup we're already in the quarterfinals, which was 10 years in the making, which obviously we're extremely proud about. And we've got to give credit where credit is due, and the boys do deserve a lot of merit for everything they've been through and everything they're achieving this season. And at the end of the day, we've got to think that even though we lost 3-0, it's not that we had no opportunities of scoring at all. We didn't even get near the goal-scoring area. We had plenty of opportunities, but it was just not a lucky day for anybody in the team. So yes, I wrote them down. We've got Amat's shot at goal in the first half, then Ferninho's opportunity of scoring as well. Maffeo then in extra time as well. So obviously Villarreal, as we said, they're a Champions League team.
Pero es que el Mallorca las ha tenido, ha llegado, ha generado. Es verdad que ha sido un poco más en la segunda parte con un poco, imagino, la bronquita o la charla del míster.
I'm sure the row that Luis Garcia Plaza will have given them in half time made them come out in the second half with a lot more aggressiveness and almost scared into wanting to get some results. But unfortunately, things weren't going in our favour today, and the refereeing decisions did not help at all. Of course, we don't want to blame the referee for the result of the match, but it really did not help us one bit.
Las ocasiones meterlas y ya está, y cambiaría el resultado, porque es que las tres ocasiones más claras por fútbol ha sido del Mallorca, porque el primer gol.
Yes, because if we just had the luck, we could have reversed the result of this match, because the clear opportunities to score and the good opportunities to score and the good shots towards goal, they all came from Mallorca players. So it could have easily been the opposite score today.
Despejas la pelota y la metes y bueno, no puedes hacer nada y después te pitan un penalti y te vas a la caseta y ¿qué dices? No le puedes decir nada al árbitro, porque si después les dices algo, en vez de un partido te meten 3 partidos, o sea, no les puedes decir nada, pero por ocasiones, si Ferninho hubiera metido la ocasión que ha tenido o Ángel la que ha tenido, como ha dicho Dani, el resultado hubiera
If Ferninho or Ángel had scored in those opportunities that they had, it would have created even more chances for us, and that's how football works. However, they battled against their rival today. We can't deny that.
Claro, yo ahora mira, estaba echando, mientras esperamos más protagonistas, también a Luis García Plaza. Esta vez no
so yes, as we await Luis Garcia Plaza's conference.
Lo que he dicho antes, mira, está en Twitter y la gente pues ya está pidiendo de todo, ¿no? Y es un poco lo que...
Of course, I was having a look at the comments on our social media and on Twitter as well, and demands are quite rife now among the Mallorca fans. However, I think it's important to remember that what has brought us where we are today with Mallorca is that unity and cohesion between the players and the fans and the managers and the everybody who is part of the Mallorca team. However, we still have to point out the fact, which is something to not be overlooked. If the league finished today, Mallorca would still be a first division team.
Por donde yo quiero llevar el discurso, no porque tal, porque cual, porque sí, no, es porque al final se lo están ganando ellos y lo están demostrando cada jornada. Si me dijeses que salen con los brazos caídos, con desilusión, con tal, pero es que se le ven las caras a los jugadores, lo motivados que están.
And yeah, if we said that they go out on the pitch with their heads held down and they're kind of you know, they're not giving their all on the pitch, but you can see it in their faces. They go out every single match eager to win and they want to win. Yeah, but that's what they have to do. They have to do that every time because they're in first division. We're going to go to Luis, who has got Ferniño with him.
Ferniño, a ver si conseguimos esa conexión.
Ferniño, bueno, Fer, la verdad es que hoy de esos partidos que no sale nada, ¿no? Es decir, tienes esas oportunidades.
So Fer, nothing really went in the team's favor today, right?
Bueno, creo que es un día para olvidar.
Yeah, I think it's a day to forget. It was really unlucky to get the own goal so early on.
Pero creo que después el equipo se ha reconstruido bien.
I think we've recovered well from it.
Y nada, bueno, después hemos tenido un par de ocasiones, he tenido una, Ángel ha tenido otra.
And then we did have some chances. I had one, Ángel had one, and we just couldn't get them in.
Estaba sin la pequeña, bien buen centro, pero verdad que remata así un poquito forzado.
Yours was obviously an excellent shot, excellent angle, but it was just, yeah, it was unlucky. Yeah, I've got to make sure that it goes in. So what's the atmosphere like in the changing rooms right now? So it's painful for the team because we've been working really, really well. Self-esteem was running high too after the match against Español. So obviously some days of only training ahead of you now, as there's no league match next week, so it's a good opportunity to recharge batteries and come back out all guns blazing because you're all eager to get those points.
Y seguir trabajando para volver más fuerte al próximo partido.
Y ya la última, bueno, en el personal, vuelves aquí a Villarreal, te has recortado con amigos y compañeros, bueno, evidentemente esa sensación amarga.
So obviously back home for you today, coming to Villarreal, you've seen ex-colleagues and ex-teammates.
Volver a quien te ha visto crecer, al final llevo aquí mucho tiempo.
Yes, it's nice for everybody to see how you're growing. It's nice for me to see how they're growing. I was there for a long time. So thank you very much for talking to us today, Fer. So similar message as we had, you know, just keep paddling, keep swimming at the moment, and try and maintain float. And I think that's obviously the message we've got to transmit to the rest of people. Yeah, I think they know what they do right and what they don't do right. And the same as he just said then, that he needed to score that, then they're fully aware of what they need to do.
Digamos, estipulado, pero claro, en minuto 13 te metes un autogol que no te entra en tus planes, que puede pasar.
Of course, they had their match plan today, and they were obviously had thought about what they were going to try and do. But when then you get an accidental own goal in the 11th minute, that obviously completely destroys your plans. Then.
La fortuna de meterlas, pero si hubiera metido alguna ocasión que ha tenido, otro resultado hubiera sido. No nos queda otro remedio que seguir remando. Estamos en primera división, esto no iba a ser tan fácil y los puntos nos los regalan.
However, we've got to remember that we are in first division. It was never going to be easy. And as Ferniño said, we've just got to keep working and keep swimming.
De Manolo y mío, ¿no? Al final siempre hay que buscar esas cositas positivas, pero también vamos a escuchar al técnico del Real Club Deportivo Mallorca, Luis García Plaza, que ya está en...
So we're going to go to Luis Garcia's press conference now and hear from him. So lots has been said about a change in attitude today for the team. So where are the changes going to come from, and is there time to make changes?
No te he entendido muy bien, perdona, ¿eh? No te oigo.
Activa micro, Marta. Sí, perfecto.
Ahora sí.
Sorry, there was a bit of miscommunication there between the journalist and Luis Garcia Plaza. So it's very difficult to find positive things about the match from today. So my question is whether a change is needed, where the change is going to come from, and are we in time?
Ninguna excusa.
So there's no excuses today.
Hoy hemos sido un equipo, sobre todo la primera parte, por llamarlo de alguna manera, de un equipo que le falta mucho pozo en primera división. O sea, el segundo gol es la muestra.
Today, especially in the first half, we looked like a team that needed a lot more in order to be in first division.
Una falta y contaron contraataque. 3. Y no los hacemos. Y ellos las hacen y todos los equipos las hacen y nosotros nos falta. Tenemos que cambiar sobre todo.
They were doing their counterattacks. All the teams seem to be doing those counterattacks, and we're not. We're not making the most of the counterattacks. We need to be tougher on our rivals. We need to be more intense.
El próximo partido en casa no es una final, pero es casi. Es un partido importantísimo para nosotros, ¿vale?
Next match that we have at home is an incredibly important match for us.
Por ser realmente, a ver cómo lo describo. Además que lo oigo a Xavi mismamente, el entrenador del Barça. O sea, hay que parar contraataques, hay que hacer faltas tácticas, hay que cortar el ritmo al juego, al rival.
You know, I'm hearing in my head Xavi, the Barcelona manager. What we really desperately need to do is make the most of those counterattacks and you know, get those tactical fouls in and make things work in our favor.
Pero la primera parte tenemos que mejorar muchísimo, ningún tipo de excusa.
However, looking at what we did in the first half, we just need to improve. There's no question about it, no excuses.
Nos está pesando y tenemos que dar una vuelta, que a lo mejor tenemos que apostar mucho más por la gente de más experiencia, de más grado, en el sentido de.
Maybe we are going to have to start to trust the more experienced players now for the next couple of matches. I got really annoyed at the second goal today. There were 3 options to cut off a counter-attack. One of them is a foul. You know, you grab them by the shirt, you cut them off, you throw yourself in front of them, whatever. I think our style was very clear. But there is no excuses. We need to cut off our rivals. You know, 4 defeats in the last 4 league matches, and that's a dynamic we desperately need to change. I knew that today was going to be extremely difficult.
Y con un comodín, que es un partido menos que la gente no tiene, tú tienes, ¿vale? Y tú tienes, o sea, es verdad que algunos han sumado y a lo mejor pues volvemos a sumar nosotros en esa jornada que no hemos podido jugar ante nuestro público y en nuestra casa.
Of course, we're 1 match down because of that match that had to be postponed, and maybe that's going to give us the points that we need to get back up there. However, we need to be the team that I know they can, the team that we were when we were up against Español. We had so many clear chances at scoring. We need to be meaner on our defense and tougher. We need to improve that, and that's one of my conclusions that I can take away from the match today.
Buenas tardes, Luis. Justo has hablado de que es una dinámica pues muy negativa, las 4 derrotas.
Yes, so talking about this bad dynamic, negative dynamic with those 4 league defeats in a row. So you're talking about putting on some more experienced players from now on. Signings or what we already have? I think it's about maintaining, being up there with those big rivals.
es que nos la mete el Villarreal.
With all due respect to Villarreal,
Si tienes un contraataque y no eres capaz de pararlo 2 veces, y tienes para pararlo 3 veces.
we just gave it to them. You know, it was there for their taking. If you have a counterattack and none of your players are able to stop that counterattack, that becomes a problem.
Es que la puedes cortar y dejas. Entonces eso hay que mejorarlo y hay que saber que se tiene que cortar al rival, hay que hacerle los partidos mucho más difíciles. ¿Que ellos son buenos? Claro.
We need to make the matches more difficult for our rivals. That's the bottom line.
Muy bien, pero no podemos poner ninguna excusa. Tenemos que mejorar en ese.
It is true. Villarreal playing some very nice football.
Absolutamente todos del primero al último. Y después yo creo que con balón el equipo, lo que digo, hay 3 ocasiones clarísimas para marcar gol. No las marcas, sobre todo cuando vas 2-0, son muy claras.
Yes, when we didn't score after all those opportunities to score.
No me busquéis esto como excusa, sin que sirva de excusa. Lo del VAR con nosotros es auténticamente increíble. No hablo de los árbitros.
However, our reputation with the VAR is absolutely incredible. And I don't mean this as an excuse.
Esta jugada no tiene nada que ver. Pero es que en Valencia fue increíble.
But in Valencia recently, it was incredible as well.
Del VAR, no hablo del árbitro. Del VAR siempre que encontrar.
I'm not talking about the referee here. I'm talking about VAR. I can't grasp it. I can't grasp how we never get the VAR replay and then get things done in our favor, but then it always seems to work out against us.
O ven las cosas en contra nuestra y no ven las cosas a favor nuestra, porque en Valencia tuvo que repetir el penalti, el gol de Ferniño es gol, porque la mano de Salva es completamente involuntaria, y hoy, que puede ser penalti, si no digo que no, pero que siempre el VAR actúa, y es entenderme, no es ningún.
There were many chances when if somebody had gone to VAR, we would have been the ones benefited. And then, I'm not saying that it wasn't a penalty today when they went to revise it, but it had to be that time. You know, did we deserve that?
El rival tenga que hacer algo mal para marcarnos gol. Para marcarnos gol tiene que hacer algo más. Vale, creo que la segunda parte del equipo ha estado mejor, es mi sensación después de verlo.
I do think the team were better in the second half. I'll give them that.
Si metes la de Ángel, que también tú te vienes arriba y ellos, hostia, les ponen entre las dudas, pero claro, si encima las que generas no las metes, pero nosotros no podemos ir a Villarreal y quedar 3-3. O sea, es muy complicado. Tenemos que cerrar más la portería a 0 y tenemos que ser un equipo mucho más fiable defensivamente.
Yes, even if we'd come back today, that's not the objective. We can't end up 3-3 against Villarreal either. We need to not have so many goals scored against us.
Bueno, siempre he hablado de las malas actuaciones, además abiertamente del Bernabéu y sobre todo también de Vallecas, que le dolió especialmente. La de hoy, ¿se puede comparar con esas dos? ¿Está al mismo nivel?
So I think this defeat today could be up there with the worst and nastiest defeats of the season.
Hemos tenido otro partido. Lo que pasa es que en Vallecas yo creo que ni tiramos la portería, si no recuerdo mal. Pero aquí si metes una de las dos, ya os digo que la primera parte no me ha gustado y sobre todo por ese aspecto. O sea, tenemos que ganar más duelos. Tenemos que los unos para
We need to face up to the battles and actually win the battles more. We need to be stronger. We need to be more decisive.
¿Vale? Y creo que en esos partidos lo que te ha dicho en ataque, ¿no? Y nosotros aquí hoy hemos podido, sobre todo, la segunda parte con 2-0, meternos con 2-1, pero digamos,
today we definitely could have come back and equalized in this match.
Hemos estado en esa tensión que se necesita para competir en primera división a nivel defensivo, ¿vale? Es lo que veo y lo pienso, y es así. Y tenemos que mejorar eso ya. Y creo que, bueno, pues ahora tenemos una semana para trabajar, para preparar la copa que nos ilusiona.
We've got a week to work on this now, of course.
Y después para juntarnos con nuestra gente, y sé que ahora todo el mundo está quemado, yo también, todo el mundo.
I know everybody's feeling the burnout right about now. I am too. But when we play at home in 2 weeks' time, we need to have all the support we can get. We need it to be an explosive atmosphere.
Nos pasó, no sé qué día fue, que fuimos a un sitio, perdimos y un equipo que tenía un partido aplazado después lo ganó, y de Granada creo que fue, si no recuerdo mal. Entonces a lo mejor eso, con ese partido en nuestra casa que ahora recibimos al Cádiz, y con ese partido podemos volver a tener una distancia importante, pero queda trabajar, apretar.
So hopefully with the match against Cadiz, if we could manage to get to the points there, that would put some nice distance once again between us and the relegation zone. But we need to improve our performances away from home as well. Because I can't think now of any occasions where we were heavily damaged playing at home, but we need to up our game when we play away from home, that's for sure.
No podemos, lo que digo, venir a Villarreal y tener que marcar 3 goles para ganar.
But yes, we cannot come to Villarreal Stadium and have to score 3 goals just to equalize.
Sí, bueno, más o menos lo ha comentado también antes, sobre todo que el gol que más le había dolido hoy había sido el segundo, ¿no? Por el
Yeah, so going back to the fact that the second goal was the most painful one for you today.
Son muchísimos goles, ¿no? Los que ha encajado el equipo, creo que si no voy mal, son 14 y es el que más encaja a la contra. ¿Qué se puede hacer? Es el simple hecho de tener que cometer las faltas.
So what can we do about those kind of goals being scored against us?
Es mucha casualidad que sean tantos goles.
Mira, el segundo gol es una falta a favor nuestra en el que estamos perfectamente colocados.
I think it's been 14 goals that have been scored against us on counter-attack, so what can we do?
La veo en la tele, a lo mejor, bueno, pero creo que estamos perfectamente colocados y tenemos 3 acciones. Entonces creo que a veces es
I think the goal today could have been so easily prevented. Maybe I'll watch it back later and I'll think differently, but from my point of view, there were 3 clear actions of what we could have done to stop that goal from happening.
Mucho más, sobre todo que cuando el equipo tenga el balón, que lo tiene, y nosotros lo tenemos, ¿eh? Yo creo que nosotros hemos venido a Villarreal y hemos tenido la pelota cuando hemos podido y hemos tenido la sensación de que podemos hacer las cosas bien, pero cuando no la tiene tenemos que ser un equipo mucho más fuerte. Pero de verdad,
We've just got to start to become a stronger team.
Fuera de casa, en casa yo creo que el equipo, los números, a lo mejor los tienes tú ahí, no son un equipo que...
I think statistics and numbers of when we're at home are generally better, and they don't look so bad on paper. But the statistics for away matches just we need to improve them.
Es vital para nosotros. Es verdad que te enfrentas con equipos difíciles, Villarreal, la próxima salida es en Sevilla, pero ahora tenemos 3 partidos muy ilusionantes, el de Copa y después.
However, we've now got 3 very exciting matches coming up.
A lo mejor podemos tener hasta 3 partidos seguidos en casa, donde creo que tenemos que dar
There may be 3 of them may be at home as well. We'll see. However, now we're of course very well, we're just in a sticky situation, shall we say. We need to analyze, we need to make everybody realize as well that we are going to work on what we need to improve. Okay, so thank you very much. So yes, as Luis Garcia Plaza said, everybody is feeling burnt out now, but we still need the support from absolutely everybody. And we're going to go back to Luis, who is going to talk to Jaume Costa.
Con Jaume Costa, que evidentemente tiene un poquito de prisa porque al menos pues tienes gente evidentemente conocida aquí. Jaume, bueno, un regreso amargo, no imagino.
Of course, you are in a rush because you do have some acquaintances here that you need to see. Yes, I mean bittersweet because I spent so many years here. They had a goal in their favour from very early on in the match. I think we could have stopped the second goal, but of course the first goal, the own goal, was too big a punishment for us. Villarreal were very good today with just playing in general. Maybe there was a lack of ambition and power there today. We didn't instill fear in them at all, I think, until midway through the second half. However, I think that the end result is exaggerated for how balanced the performance was in the match. Yeah, I think having that own goal at the beginning just completely changed tack of the match, right? I think what we need to work on especially is that when anybody gets a chance to score, they actually take the chance and they get somewhere with it.
Hoy nos iremos cabreados, pero mañana seguro que vamos a pensar en el siguiente partido.
La última, bueno, ahora viene pues ese parón.
Today for sure we will be angry about it, but from tomorrow we've just got to wake up and concentrate on the next match. Yes, so next weekend there's no league match. That will be a perfect opportunity for recharging of batteries. yes, not having the league match next week will be good for us to be able to analyze and organize, to think about what we want to do in the league as well.
Volver a la senda de la victoria para seguir peleando y seguir
Need to get back to victories.
trabajando para cumplir el objetivo prioritario.
Bueno, pues disfruta de la familia.
And we need to see if we can reach our goal. We're going to let Jaume Costa go back to see some family and acquaintances that he needs to say hi to today in Villarreal. So we've listened to everybody today, very clear messages there. 1 week of recovery to gain consciousness as well.
La verdad es que la rueda de prensa de Luis García Plaza, siempre lo digo, me encanta cómo habla el míster, creo que siempre es claro.
I'm always a fan of Luis García Plaza's press conferences. I think he always goes in very honest and very open.
¿Con qué sensación te quedas tú, Manolo? Así hazme una valoración rápida y así ya despediremos este pre-red.
However, Manolo, I wonder how you feel about his message today. Well, he doesn't hide, he doesn't shy away from the truth and from the reality. Like he said, he was very annoyed at the second goal. Offensively, it was some good performances. Defensively, there was a lot left to be desired.
Ha dicho, ellos han tenido 3 ocasiones claras, pero no puedes empatar un partido 3-3. Si quieres sacar algo positivo, sobre todo fuera de casa, en un partido de primera división, no puedes recibir esos 3 goles, que el primero es una desgracia, un accidente.
I think to have 3 goals scored against you in First Division is something you just can't allow to happen to you.
Diferentes, sobre todo, pues bueno, como el día del Real Madrid o el día del Rayo Vallecano, que él salió muy enfadado. No el día del Madrid, pero sobre todo el día del Rayo, pero hoy se ha enfadado mucho, sobre todo en ese segundo gol, y hay que...
See, he wasn't as annoyed as the day with Rayo Vallecano today, but he was definitely annoyed at the performance and the result.
En una contra, y eso lo ha dicho, que tienen que ser sobre todo más expeditivos, porque te lo van a hacer a ti, porque prácticamente... no hay ningún equipo que en primera división tenga una contra. El Real Madrid tiene una contra impresionante.
However, as Luis Garcia said, and I agree with him, every team in the First Division makes the most of those counter-attacks, so we should be ready for that, and we should make the most of them too.
Y después él ha dicho, hemos tenido 2 ocasiones muy claras, que si hubiéramos metido ese gol, pues ellos al Villarreal te metes en el partido y sobre todo, bueno, de todas formas hay que pasar página, hay que aprender sobre todo de las derrotas, hay que aprender.
However, we've got to move on, learn from defeats especially.
Intentar sacar ese partido de Copa y pasar, porque siempre pasar es positivo, y después esa final contra el Cádiz, y como ha dicho él, tenemos un comodín que bueno, ahora claro, estamos con 20 puntos.
Face up to the next rival, which is Cádiz.
También a la Real Sociedad.
And like Luis Garcia said, we've got to make the most of the fact that, yes, we're on 20 points now, but we still have that match, that postponed match against Real Sociedad. And if we got the 3 points from there, that would greatly move us away from the relegation zone teams, which is something to consider too.
Pero en ese sentido sí, no recibir quizá esos goles que no puede recibir un equipo profesional, como ha dicho el segundo gol, porque él ha dicho, o sea, no es que lo tenga que hacer el Mallorca, es que lo hace el Barcelona, que lo hace... Y bueno, pues ya está.
Yes, because as Luis Garcia said, these counter-attack opportunities, all teams make the most of them in First Division, so we need to be up to that standard.
Hay que mirar para adelante y bueno, ellos estarán los primeros jodidos, la afición del Mallorca también estará enfadada.
Of course, Mallorca fans are going to be annoyed, but imagine how the players feel as well.
Un gran equipo como es el Villarreal, que tenía sus bajas, pero ellos le han dicho que juegan muy bien.
Obviously, yes, as well. Everybody was slightly optimistic because of the injuries today in the Villarreal team, but we knew that they were going to be a very formidable lineup anyway. I think the darkest point of the match was the second goal, for sure. The first one was an accident, the third one was very unfortunate for us. Next match is Cádiz, who is a very direct rival for us.
Y preparar ese partido, sobre todo el de Copa, que bueno, que vamos a ir con toda la ilusión al campo del Rayo.
And of course, very excited for that King's Cup match as well.
Y sobre todo lo que ha dicho Luis García Plaza, que es que en casa tenemos esa solidez defensiva que fuera de casa no la estamos.
Again, Luis Garcia said, and I agree, we do have a kind of solid aspect to the team when we play at home, and now we have a couple of home matches coming up.
Una derrota que no de una victoria, porque cuando se gana todo lo ves de otro color. Y bueno, y hoy estaremos jodidos, pero mañana otra vez empezarán a preparar ese partido.
So today, of course, we will be extremely frustrated, but from tomorrow, we will already start preparing for the next match. And I disagree with everything that Luis Garcia Plaza said. So thank you very much, Manolo, for being here today and talking to us. We'll see you next time. Yes, so Mallorca still hanging in there, still away from the relegation zone. We will be with you next time on Wednesday, the 2nd of February for the King's Cup match against Rayo Vallecano. And then the 5th of February, league match against Cadiz at 4:15 in the afternoon. So we've got to trust the process, trust the team, and stay optimistic. Thanks for watching.